I'm trying. No, the game of bowls. Is it? I'm trying to remember what it is.
But it's that thing.
Yeah, not. I think it's not curling. Curling is on ice. Obviously, we can't.
So what is
bowls is played on grass. It's like that. Marbles tossed around. They hit each other.
What is it? What is it? What meaning?
Eh?
So what is it?
I mean, what is it?
No, what are we supposed to do with it?
I don't know. But the person came to visit. Maybe it's just a tour. Maybe he wants to start the sport here.
Charlie, the ones we can do, we don't sit off finish.
Okay, let's go to 3news.com/sports. Matured enough to play for the Black Stars. Kwesi Sibo. Yeah, he qualified his team. I think it was Real Oviedo to the Spanish La Liga. It says he's mature enough.
What position does he play?
I'll check for you. You want to check if the position is not loaded?
Hey.
Anyway, Ghana's women's football is ripe for commercial. Okay, it's ripe for commercial according to Accra Street Journal. I think they want to say, okay, it's now time to go commercial. I see. And Hearts of Oak have struggled since my departure. Mohamed Polo.
Departure as what?
That's maybe player. But if it is so, that's not the case.
Hearts of Oak hasn't struggled.
It's just since he left as head coach.
What did he win?
What did he win with that?
Oh no, I don't know.
He didn't win anything though.
Okay.
Except a nickname, MP3. Because boys said that in his time, Hearts had a habit of losing games by 3 goals.
Look. Mohamed Polo 3.
So he became known as MP3. This was after years and years of saying that he could manage the club. He's always been saying stuff like that. They should give him Black Stars and they should give him Hearts of Oak. And
then he was collecting MP3. No, I see that. You see, even the talk. Even the talk around the club, it's not healthy. You see, the commentary around the club is not healthy.
Anyway, more polo for you. Polo to polo, the scientific footballer.
Hey.
The dribbling matches.
Ghana football.
Anyway, let's go to let's go international. BBC Sport. Windies bowl Australia out for 180 on chaotic first day. Elliott is England's under-21 man for the moment amid uncertain future. Gareth Southgate got knighted yesterday, and he joins the greats as football's 7th knighted manager. And Murray wants to shield kids from demanding social media.
Gareth Southgate. What has he won in his career?
They gave him a knighthood for his services to football. AYA.
Southgate. Not even a Premier League title. As coach. Unnightly.
He was managing Middlesbrough. How was he going to get a Premier League title? Let's continue.
Night.
Yes. Anyway, in Formula 1, you like this one. Circumstances not ideal. Science rules out FIA presidency bid.
Okay. Maybe they've spoken to him. I've told him that. Anyway,
this morning, let me do an addition. NBA.com is filled with a lot of draft stories, right? So the NBA draft, Cooper Flag, or the biggest story, Mavericks select Cooper Flag, #1 pick, Harper goes second, and then they have other stories there. Last night or early this morning was the NBA draft. This is when they bring in new players into the league. Teams get to pick players into their teams, and it's the worst teams who get to pick first. The worst teams from the previous season, they get to pick first, and they picked Duke's Cooper Flag as their #1 pick. So that's the lowdown.
It was widely predicted actually. So,
all right, Ray, what do you have for us?
Let's get on to City Sports Online and let's check out what they have here. No African club in Club World Cup last 16 as Sundowns fall short with draw, and then FC Barcelona return to Camp Nou on August 10. And then Black Queens beat Benin in pre-women's WAFCON friendly in Morocco. Other stories here. Develop players as who they are. Roger Smith to Ghana tennis coaches at clinic. So that's another interesting one there. There's a coaching clinic for tennis coaches. Okay, so I hope they learn quite a bit from there. Thomas Partey will leave Arsenal as a free agent. Fabrizio Romana. And in athletics, American sprinter wins race but suffers major wardrobe malfunction. Nathan, do you see that?
I saw it, Charlie.
That man is running and his things are coming out of the pant and all. Charlie, hey. But he did well. He had to concentrate on that side and the race as well. He's a solid guy. GhanaSoccerNet.com this morning, WAFCON 2024. We are prepared for our tough opponents. Black Queens midfielder Jennifer Kujo. And then returning to WAFCON brings us great joy. Black Queens Jennifer Kujo. And they are excited. They are excited to be in camp. You know, at least some per diems and things go enter. So even if you finish group stage, something small. You understand? Celta Vigo loan has helped me improve my finishing. Kotoko winger Bernard Sumwa, and this is another Kotoko signing. Yeah, he's speaking. He says that his loan move to Celta Vigo has helped him improve his finishing. So we'll see about that when the league starts. And then other stories here. FIFA gives Hearts of Oak 30 days to pay 106,000 Ghana cedis to former player Francis Ajete. And then Kotoko new midfielder Hubert Jehu compares himself to PSG star Vitinha. And yesterday I saw an interesting story. I thought it was Godfrey. He said Jehu says he plays like Vitinha. Another one to say he plays like Hakimi also. So
no, Nuno Mendes.
So Kumasi PSG. We'll see how things pan out for all the players. And then let's go international. Go.com this morning have lots of stories on the Club World Cup. And let me start off with Sundowns. Sundowns bow out of Club World Cup after draw with Fluminense. And then Pep's puzzle. How do City's ferocious forwards all fit in? That's one question for Pep Guardiola to answer. Can Monaco save the careers of Pogba and Ansu Fati? That's a question that's been asked here this morning. Sergio Ramos, people didn't believe Rayados would advance. Talking about his Monterrey team.
Monterrey, yeah.
And then FIFA Club World Cup top scorers. Golden Boot race so far. You can find all of that here. Monterrey stand Urawa Reds 4-0 to reach Club World Cup round of 16. Lille reportedly targeting LAFC's Giroud for summer transfer. All of these stories are here on gold.com. And then we quickly move to Sky Sports Football. And stories here this morning. Arsenal agree fee for Brentford captain Norgard. And then would Norgard be a good signing for the Gunners? That's a question here. Cowsley, it's a shame there's only one game left with outstanding under 21s. And then Elliot's double sends England to Euros under 21 to the under 21 Euros final. And then latest on Gittins, Rashford, Mbomo on the transfer centre. Liverpool set to battle Manchester United and Arsenal for Gyökeres. And then Ronaldo close to agreeing new Al Nassr contract. Nathan, I think Ronaldo refusing to extend his contract was hinged on who the coach was going to be next season. Yeah, so once Pioli stepped out, Ronaldo was now willing to continue. I think, you know, he possibly did not agree with Pioli on a lot of things. Yeah. So now they're bringing Grandpa. They want to bring in Grandpa Jorge Jesus.
They want to bring Grandpa Jorge Jesus?
Yes. I see. That he's the one they want to bring. He's a Portuguese. So they want to bring in a Portuguese manager so he and Ronaldo would get along. Okay. So Al Nassr will do everything possible for Ronaldo to stay. So they'll pay big bucks to bring in a coach that will teach him. Everything just to make Ronaldo happy. Okay. See, when you get to this level, you see, Nathan, this is how they do their thing. So Juventus to hold talks with Manchester United over Sancho. And then one other story here, Kekes could be Liverpool's new Robertson. All of those stories you can find on Sky Sports Football. Sky Sports F1, will Ferrari upgrades start to turn around troubled season? That's a question being asked here. And F1, the movie, Hamilton's inspirational role among 5 things to look out for in the movie. And tomorrow the movie will premiere. So the movie will be released later this week. And tomorrow we are watching the movie at Silver Bed Cinema. So grab your tickets and let's watch the F1, the movie, starring Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. I mean, lots of interesting stars. If you love movies, this is one you wouldn't want to miss for anything in the world. So let's make our way to Silver Bed tomorrow and watch the F1 movie. A very, very interesting story. You'd love it. You'd love it. So Nathan, tomorrow I'm taking you to the cinema. Yes. You and Mrs. Q will have to come in. See, you told me tomorrow is date night. Tomorrow is date night.
Oh yeah, you will discuss.
Oh no, we finished discussing. Tomorrow is date night.
Yeah, you see, let me check with her.
No. Oh, she's available.
I know that
she's
doing
available.
one or two
She's
things.
available.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. I don't know which of the stories you want to touch on. The Thomas Partey story.
People come plus yellow cap and things, Charlie. And the fear self. We have to investigate the content.
We'll look at that. So Thomas Partey is set to leave Arsenal.
Yes.
At the end of June, because he and Arsenal could not agree on an extension. Now, reports are saying that Arsenal are already thinking of moving on. Remember, they are close to signing Zubimendi, and then they're also bringing in Norgard from Brentford. So those are two midfielders. So it looks like Partey's time at Arsenal has come to an end, and he will be moving on. Where he goes, nobody knows. Nobody can tell.
We'll go to Saudi.
Sporty FM.
Some people have urged him to go to Saudi.
Yes.
Others think he should stay in Europe, but we will see what happens. Let's do the Black Queens story quickly. Yesterday, the Black Queens beat Benin by 4-2. They came back from 2-1 down. Nina Noshi gave them a lead, but the Beninese went up 2-1 at halftime. Then in the second half, they turned it around. Alice Kusi, Susan Dia, and Chantel Boy Hloka gave the Black Queens another win. So that's their second win in terms of the friendlies. This weekend, they face Nigeria, the last warm-up game, and then they go into the competition, which starts next weekend.
Why are they not continuing the Mole Mole teams?
Oh, but will you play Mole Mole teams all through?
See, when you play a team like Nigeria, it can scatter your confidence.
So you that's why they are playing.
So when Nigeria give them 3-4 before their first game against South Africa, 6-7.
That's not true.
That's the end of the competition.
If any team will put 6 past the Black Queens, it's likely Nigeria. And you said they'll win 3 or 4. So currently South Africans can't score 5 or 6.
When Nigeria dampen your confidence,
that's not true.
When they weaken your front. No, you are playing Mole Mole teams. You are beating them.
But you just said. But earlier you gave credit to the coach for admitting that the team.
But you see, friendly games, when you are playing Mole Mole teams, continue playing Mole Mole teams.
So I say you shouldn't play
you
a
boost
tough
the confidence
team.
of your
team.
team.
You shouldn't play
Nigeria and they hit you 4-5, you have a problem. So this weekend we are watching that Super Eagles game. It's my girlfriend playing Asisat. Is he going to play?
I'll have to check.
Asisat hat-trick. What bear hat-trick, man?
Agbabola.
Well, how many players in the Black Queens play for Barcelona? Or have played for Barcelona?
Anyway, let's touch on the NBA quickly. And Cooper Flag, he was chosen number 1 overall in the draft. He was picked by the Dallas Mavericks. Players like Dylan Harper went second. VJ Edgecombe went third for the 76ers. So Harper went to the Spurs, Edgecombe to the Sixers, Newpel to the Hornets, Ace Bailey to the Jazz, Trey Johnson to the Wizards, and Jeremiah Fairs to the Pelicans. I was watching Jeremiah Fairs a few days ago on ESPN. So that'll be really, really, really interesting in terms of who does what in the NBA. The second round of the draft will be done on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. The other teams will all get a chance to pick players and all of that. So that's the lowdown from the NBA.
When is the Ghana draft?
For what?
Nungwa Cold Store.
Nungwa Cold Store. But I don't know whether they do draft.
They don't do draft. They just call the players and assemble them. Yeah. From where? High school?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Hey. Tell the sports they are doing it too.
All right, let's. Now coming up is here. Let's get into Sporty News Extra. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Sporty News Extra with me, Nana Kwame on the Sporty Breakfast Show live on 106.1 FM. Now let's do some headlines. Black Queens beats Benin 4-2 in WAFCON warm-up friendly. Kotoko signed winger Johnson Opong ahead of Conference Cup return. Thomas Partey said to leave Arsenal as contract nears expiry, and African buyout of Club World Cup as Sundowns held by Fluminense. And finally, Cooper Flag goes #1 as Dallas picks him in 2025 NBA draft. So let's start with our top story this morning, where Ghana's Black Queens continued their strong preparations for the 2025 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON with a 4-2 win over Benin in a friendly match on Wednesday evening in Morocco. This follows their earlier 3-1 win against Malawi last Saturday as the team builds momentum ahead of the tournament start on July 5. Nina Noshi gave Ghana the lead in the 4th minute, but Benin responded with 2 goals to go 2 up before the break. However, Ghana came back stronger in the second half with goals from Alice Kusi, Susan Drea, and Chantel Roca. The result will boost confidence ahead of their warm-up match against Nigeria on June 25. Ghana has been drawn in Group C with South Africa, Mali, and Tanzania. Meanwhile, Asante Kotoko have made their 3rd signing ahead of next season. The club has signed forward Johnson Opong on a 2-year deal. Opong, who has played in Europe and for several Ghanaian clubs, is described by Kotoko as a quick and dynamic winger. He joins left-back Francis Akwa and midfielder Hubert Jou as new additions to the squad. Kotoko are preparing for their return to the CAF Confederations Cup after 2 years, having secured qualification by winning the FA Cup and finishing 3rd in the Ghana Premier League. Club spokesperson and lawyer Safuduku has been speaking on the team's schedule and their upcoming President's Cup clash with Hartlepool.
We gave them the opportunity to show their talent. That is why we will not see most of our registered players. Tomorrow, the training will continue with most of our old guys getting involved. Then on Saturday, we have our first friendly match for the preseason. And then on Sunday, we shall take a rest. And on Monday, we play another friendly match. So basically, that is the program from today to Monday, when we then allow only our registered players to continue with training.
So you heard the voice of club spokesperson lawyer Safuduku, who spoke on the team schedule and their upcoming President's Cup clash with Hartlepool. Now in England, Thomas Partey is set to leave Arsenal as a free agent when his contract expires on June 30. Partey joined the Gunners in 2020 on a 5-year deal from Atletico Madrid. Talks for a contract extension fell through, and Arsenal are now looking for replacements. Reports suggest the club is in discussions with Brentford over Christian Norgard or Sevilla's Lucien Agome. Arsenal are reshaping their squad for the 2025-2026 season as they aim to win their first Premier League title since 2004. In Spain, Kwesi Sibo has revealed that he has not heard from the Ghana Football Association despite being in top form. The Real Oviedo midfielder told Asampa FM he played 42 matches, scored 1 goal and assisted another, helping the club gain promotion to La Liga after 24 years.
No, there's no call from the GFA or from the Ghana Federation since I started my career or still I started playing the La Liga. But there's something that I always believe that, God time is always the best, So me as a footballer, every player that the national team will call, I feel like, he deserves to be called. I'm always supporting with a clean heart and a clear mind, doing my job as a footballer. And I know at the right time, if it's my time, it will just come to pass. I haven't got any call from the federation to invite me for any friendly game. There was this national team who was chasing me to play for them even this year, Rwanda. They were just on me, so I spoke with them I just want to finish the league there now. I will see, because they say even Rwanda, they name Sibo. So my name Sibo, it will be easy for them to play. So they were getting in contact with me each and every day.
Also dreaming of a Black Stars call-up is Abdul Rashid Husseini, who plays for NK Tabor Cezena in Slovenia. He told Joy Sports that he believes his time will come after an impressive season in the Slovenian top flight.
Yes, right now that's my main goal right now, to play for the Black Star, because if you had a Black Star stamp on your profile, your transfer market, is something like you look and like you feel happy and those kind of things. So that's my main goal right now, to play for the Black Stars. So we're just hoping, we just have to work hard and keep trying and see. You never know. Some may get it early, some can get it later. So we still keep pushing. It's our nation, so we have to be ready to help it. So.
Another Ghanaian international, Samuel Owusu, who plays in Serbia for OFK Beograd, also shared his views on national team selections. He believes players should be chosen based on form, not league reputation.
For me, for what I know from this country, people are still playing in Saudi Arabia, people are still playing in Qatar, and they're being called into the national team, and they're performing. Ronaldo is 40 years and 40 something. He's playing the Saudi Arabia, but still come to the national team and he still perform. So me, I feel like it's high time we Ghanaians and the media to just know, football is played everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are playing. I always tell myself, football is you, not the club or the team or the league you are playing. You can call someone who's playing the Premier League and you might come to the national team and nothing's going to happen. But you might call players who are in the Ghana Premier League, in the maybe Ethiopia League, in the Saudi League, and they will come and they will perform. It's 11 against 11. It's just a ball we are playing. No league is better than any league. You can see PSG is playing the France League. We call France the Farmers League, but they won the Champions League. So this is a high time we need to understand football is being played everywhere. So if someone is playing in another league and he's performing and he's Ghanaian, we just have to give him the chance to come showcase his talent, and let's help each other in this country.
You just heard from Samuel Owusu, who believes that players should be chosen based on form and not league reputation. Now, in England, Queen's Park Rangers have completed the signing of Kwame Poku, beating Scottish Giants Rangers to the Ghanaian winger. Poku, who's 23, had a standout season at Peterborough United, scoring 12 goals and delivering 11 assists in 31 matches, despite a hamstring injury. QPR moved quickly to secure a compensation deal and bring him to Loftus Road. Now, let's do some FIFA Club World Cup stories, where Africa's journey at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup has come to an end after Mamelodi Sundowns were held to a 0-0 draw by Fluminense. Football expert Yao Amofo Jr. says tactical weakness and squad depth hurt African clubs, but the financial earnings lessened the pain. David Kufite wraps it all up.
Africa's journey at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup came to an end on Wednesday after Mamelodi Sundowns were held to a goalless draw by Brazil's Fluminense at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The results confirmed the elimination of all African clubs, Sundowns, Al Ahly, Wydad Casablanca, and Esperance at the group stage. Sundowns needed a win in their final Group F game to reach the round of 16, but were unable to break down a resilient Fluminense side, who only needed a draw to advance. The South Africans started brightly, creating early chances through Lucas Ribeiro and Tashreeq Matthews, but lacked a cutting edge. Fluminense improved as the match wore on, with German Kano hitting the post in the second half. The draw saw the Brazilians progress in second place behind Borussia Dortmund, while Sundowns ended the group stage with 4 points. Wydad will face Al Ain on Thursday in the dead rubber. Ghanaian and African football expert Yao Amofo Jr. weighed in on what may have gone wrong for the likes of Esperance and Sundowns.
Esperance and Mamelodi Sundowns getting knocked out of this competition really shows a real level of African football. Not to say they didn't exactly impress at the tournament. I think they fairly competed, but they competed against sides that have been better prepared for this tournament. Now, the good news is that they are working away with a lot of money to reinvest in African football, to reinvest in social media marketing, PR, to be able to elevate the sport that we love the most, football. Now, when you look at Mamelodi Sundowns, over the years, they've been one of the clubs that have really invested in African football. And many had expected that they would do well in this tournament. I don't think they started so badly, but sometimes you need to be real with yourself when it comes to the level at which African football is. We can't compete against the Brazilians, we can compete against the Europeans. And that is really the real level of African football. When you do a lot of research into what we see as the competitive tournament in Africa, every time we go even into the World Cup, we fall short. Just recently, you had to take Morocco, who are the plethora of stars from Europe, to be able to compete. Not to say Africa is not growing in terms of talent and in terms of getting the best players available, but it will take a little more time for us to be able to catch up.
So that was a wrap from my colleague David Kofite on Mamelodi Sundowns and Africa as a whole, or the teams representing Africa in the Club World Cup exiting the competition. Now, elsewhere in the Club World Cup, other results and upcoming fixtures are making headlines. All eyes are now on Manchester City, who face Juventus in the swirling heat of Orlando. Manager Pep Guardiola spoke about the tough conditions.
The good players always have the good players, the good teams always have good teams, the not good teams always have not good teams. Depends of, the performance. In terms not bad teams, for the fact that maybe they are playing a good level. So the South American teams, they are more in maybe form because they are in the middle of competition. The rest of the teams, Euro teams, is at the end of the season, the beginning of the season. Like you can see it, and yeah, but no much difference, I would say. I think everybody's complaining a bit for the weather, but it's what it is. So it's hot and humidity and difficult for everyone. That's why the speed and, for example, our rhythm, the last game was higher than the first game. The first game, it was so hot. It was at 12 p.m. It was so hard. And yeah, it depends on, I would say, it depends on that.
Now, a win for City would see them top Group G and avoid potential clashes with Real Madrid, RB Salzburg, or Al Hilal from Group H. Now, let's go to Saudi Arabia, where Cristiano Ronaldo is close to signing a new contract with Al Nassr. The Portuguese star feels at home and wants to stay beyond his current deal, which ends this month. Sky Sports cover Shokol explains the situation.
Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo is close to agreeing to extend his contract at Al Nassr. He feels at home in Saudi Arabia and he wants to extend his stay. Of course, he moved to Al Nassr in January 2023 and he's out of contract at the end of this month. I think recent performances and goals when he's been playing for Portugal have convinced him that the best place for him to carry on playing his football is in Saudi Arabia, in the Saudi Pro League for Al Nassr. And that's because next summer the World Cup is being held in the US and Cristiano Ronaldo is fully focused on playing for Portugal in that tournament, even though he'll be 41. And I think he proved a lot of doubters wrong with his performances and his goals as Portugal won the Nations League earlier this month in Munich when they beat Spain in the final. He feels that the standard of football in Saudi Arabia is improving all the time, and he's even considering making some sports investments in the kingdom.
So that was Sky Sports cover Solicol explaining the situation. Now, Ronaldo believes he can still perform at high level for Portugal at the next World Cup, even at age 41. Now, let's do some stories back in England. Now, former Three Lions boss Gary Southgate has been knighted at Windsor Castle for his services to football. The 54-year-old who stepped down after the Euro 2024 joined a select group of football managers to receive the honour.
An amazing privilege, and I have to say I was more emotional than I thought I would be, but amazing experience for my whole family today. Well, the lovely thing is that you get to meet so many people who've done incredible things for our country, so to meet other award winners was very, very special. And yeah, I mean, the Prince has been an incredible supporter of the England team anyway, so we've been fortunate to share some amazing moments and some disappointments where he's come and spoke brilliantly to the team, so it was great to see him again.
Now, Gary Southgate now joins legends like Sir Alf Ramsey, Sir Alex Ferguson, Sir Kenny Dalglish, and Sir Bobby Robson in football's knighthood list. Now, in Spain, Luis Rubiales has lost his appeal against a sexual assault conviction. He was fined €10,800 after kissing player Jenny Hermoso without consent at the 2023 Women's World Cup. The court upheld the ruling banning him from contacting Hermoso or being within 200 meters of her for 1 year. He claims that it was a spontaneous act. His claim that it was a spontaneous act was rejected. In tennis, Dan Evans secured a big win over world number 13 Tommy Paul at Eastbourne, winning 6-4, 3-6, 6-3. The 35-year-old Brit has had a challenging season, but is now enjoying a strong run, having also beaten Francis Tiafoe 2 weeks ago.
To be honest, I felt good serving for the match. It was more 1-love in the second. I started to think about the winning line, which is an error. And then, I sort of went down. I just said to myself, enjoy this. This is what it's about. And I played much better tennis. I stopped worrying about what he was doing. He started to play a bit better, and I then started to play very good when I stopped worrying about him so much. And I played good tennis in the end. And again, amazing crowd. And thanks again. And you got me through. Yeah, no, it is. But I know I've done the work as well. And once I got some confidence, I knew the work was in the bank. And if a good friend said if you're ready and the door opens, you'll walk through it. If you're not, you won't. And there's no truer word for the past 2 weeks, and hopefully there's some more to come.
In basketball, the 2025 NBA draft saw Cooper Flagg selected first overall by Dallas. Dylan Harper went second to San Antonio, with VJ Edgecombe heading to Philadelphia. The rest of the top 5 were Con Newpel, number 4, to Charlotte; Ace Bailey, number 5, to Utah. Other top 10 picks included Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fierce, Ego Demin, Colin Murray Boyles, and Kaman Mulwach, who was traded to Phoenix. And that's what we have for you today on the Sporting News Extra with me, Nana Kwame Lavi. We leave you with the WAFCON Minutes.
This is WAFCON Minutes on Sporty FM.
The Copper Queens of Zambia are gearing up for their 4th Women's Africa Cup of Nations appearance. They featured in the last 2 editions in Ghana and Morocco. Zambia's best finish came in 2022 in Morocco, where they claimed 3rd place after defeating Nigeria. The Copper Queens also made their debut at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, securing a historic win over Costa Rica. They have represented Africa at the Olympic Games twice, in 2020 and 2024. Coached by former Black Queens boss Nora Hoopla, Zambia boasts an experienced squad blending local talent with foreign-based stars. Key players to watch include Orlando Pride duo Barbara Banda and Grace Chanda, alongside Rachel Kundananji of Bay FC, all playing in the United States. Zambia has been drawn in Group A. They opened the tournament against host Morocco on Saturday, July 5. Senegal and DR Congo complete the group stage lineup. Stay with Sporty FM for your daily dose of WAFCON Minutes.
You're locked onto Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 91.3 FM in Kumasi, and 102.5 FM in Takrady. Sporty, the voice of sport.
Comes off the left wall. You need to add that sound in. I mean, the detail is extraordinary. It's just extraordinary.
This is better than my garage. I've been racing for 32 years, and I've loved the sport since I was 5 years old. When we came across there was this moment where I got to speak with Joe about this potential project, Joe and Jerry, who asked me to come on board, and I jumped at the opportunity. And to be honest, I'd been really trying to figure out what could be a stepping stone from racing one day, a kind of a side stepping stone of something I'm also really passionate about. And movies is one of those things that I love pretty much as I do racing. And so I got this opportunity to go back in the background, where I got to meet up with Jerry and Joe at Jerry's office, the legend himself, and meet with Brad and go through this script. And it was all a big learning process for me. I'm learning how they like to work, all the processes that go in place to build and create a movie.
excited for people who actually don't know anything about Formula One to watch this movie, because they'll instantly see that there's so many themes that are relatable to real life. And that it's not just a racing movie, you know, there's characters in there that you would know, that you'd walk past on the street. You know? We all know a Joshua who has this huge challenge and he's trying to overcome adversity and prove himself to the world. So when people leave the cinema, they're gonna feel how they felt back in the day when they watched those big movies. They're gonna wish they were of that world. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different nationalities and accents in the movie, and they like seamlessly sort of come together. So that is really nice to see in a movie. Like, and then it reminded me of when I was younger, like that feeling where you're like cheering and you want, like, it really evokes this like feel good like feeling with the music and everything. And these like people who were losing, like learning and doing well. Like, it just was like a movie I would have seen when I was younger, that I would have remembered every line. And so I really hope people feel that like nostalgia feeling of like, that's why movies are so great. It's like you remember them forever and the feeling that you felt. It's also like a family movie too, like it's quite age appropriate. And a date movie also, because it's a little romance and there's something for boys and girls in there. Yeah, I think I just hope they feel like it was worth the money to go to the theatre because the sound and the camera work and everything.
You raced with me back in the day.
Against him, he means.
Take him over the car.
My first moment of filming is at Silverstone, race weekend, in front of 120,000 fans. And we had to prove to F1 that we could slot ourselves into the race weekend because it is military precision, it is to the minute. And so we had a 20-minute slot where we could go out on quali day in front of the fans and film ourselves.
Yeah, this is during the
Rather than having a stunt driver actually controlling the cars, in this film, Brad and Damson are driving the cars by themselves. These are not special effects rigs. These aren't movie cars that are made to look like real race cars. These are race cars from the start that we developed, you know, working hand in hand with AMG Mercedes, their designers and engineers, to build a race car specifically for making this movie.
Okay, Formula One is a team sport. It always was, and maybe that's why you failed at it.
We're first introduced to Kate. She's working for Apex, and they're a losing team. It's like been 2.5 seasons, and they've got 0 points, so they're on a, like, it's, the vibe is not good at the beginning of the movie. And I think her confidence is pretty low because the car that she has designed is referenced as a shit box and is not doing well, and there's problems with the car. So I think she's a kind of losing confidence in herself, and she's the technical director of the team, so that's a big responsibility.
Look around maybe, and then after he walks away, you're still looking, and then you push him through the crowd.
Joe Kinsinski and Jerry Bruckheimer are bringing the excitement that we all shared and had while watching Top Gun Maverick on a big screen into the racetrack and into the Formula One world, and to a point where we are so inside the real F1 world that is kind of crazy. When we were shooting it, to be among all the real drivers in the real racetracks, in the real competitions, having Brad and Damson driving the real tracks with the real cars, it's like, it can't get better than this.
nice. Good.
The reason why I wanted to be a part of it, aside with working with all the creatives, was I really related to Joshua. I really felt like I knew him, and it became a compulsion of mine to protect him and to show him to the world in his best light. I could relate to being an underdog, a rookie, a young actor, and having a need to want to prove yourself so badly, and I think that is what Josh was going through.
Race day! So excited. I think one version is shoot a face looking out and then look up to the wide, and then the other version is fingers on track.
It's such a crazy idea. Joe Kosinski, our director, must have been sitting around after the success of Maverick going, what do I do next? I know. I'm going to do the most visceral, experiential racing movie ever made. I'm going to integrate the entire film into the F1 season. I'm going to put real actors and real cars on tracks on real race weekends, and we're going to make a movie.
Why not?
Somehow he pulled it off. Yeah, it's so audacious. I can't believe we actually got to get away with it.
First time I met with Joe and Jerry, I had said to them, in Top Gun, people were flying those planes for real. How you guys gonna do F1 green screen, right? And they both deadpan looked at me. They're like, "No, you're gonna be driving the cars for real." And I put my poker face on, and I was like, "I could do that."
A sweat,
yeah. Sort of like a sweat of blood. But you know, we trained for about 4 or 5 months behind different disciplines of race cars. And by the time we got into the cars that we used for the movie, you know, going from Grand Prix to Grand Prix, racing amongst the real crowd, you know, we were ready to go. And the interesting thing about driving was we had all these cameras on the car. So unlike Lewis and Max, when they're in a car and they could see everything, we could barely see. And sometimes we'd be going 180 miles per hour while saying lines at a specific place on the track.
With emotion.
With emotion, trying to look cute while we did it. So it really was, you know, a huge challenge. But the feeling after completing it, and you know, the taps on the back of the shoulders, and you know, the respect we received from the world of Formula One was second to none.
Great. Star that.
What Joe wanted is real authenticity. He wanted to make the best racing movie ever made. And in order to do that, you have to put your actors in the cars. It's dangerous, it's exciting, but it's the only way to make the movie. And when you see the film, you'll see both our actors actually driving these really powerful engines and cars.
Booming down, yeah, it's 2 cars fighting, maybe right side by side. So then you could shoot, we do the boom for the focus pole and the element, and then I guess you'd shoot the car as references. They're gonna have to be replaced anyway. And you're gonna have to have wet, you have to make it wet.
I need a way to chase through the dirty air. We need to build our car for combat.
You want me to redesign so you can follow closer?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to make that safe?
Who said anything about safe?
Working along Brad, he's so natural. That was something that I really found when I was in the scenes with him. Like, he's just so natural. It's crazy. Sometimes it's like, I feel like it's hard to tell when he's acting. Like, it just seems so natural and very in the moment. He's a very in the moment actor, and I'm very in the moment actor, and that's so much fun.
Joe very wisely said, I'm gonna make an F1 movie, but to do that, I'm gonna have to get someone who everyone else is going to trust, who's gonna sanction it, who's gonna be able to guide us. And that he went to 7-time world champion Sir Lewis Hamilton, who has a love for movies as well, as well as other art forms, and he was actually the first one to platoon this crazy idea. He was the first one he got in, and from there, Lewis opened up, the entire ecosystem to us and introduced us to each team, every driver. We were in drivers' meetings, team principals, and everyone, Stefano at F1. I mean, everyone just opened the doors for us to tell this story. It was quite incredible and unprecedented. That's just getting started. We would sit for hours with Lewis. I mean, I remember one 12-hour meeting that our ending came.
Arsenal. What are your thoughts? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you indifferent? Where should he go? Where should Thomas Partey go if he's leaving Arsenal? Today's the 26th. He has about 4 days or so left to the end of the month. It looks like they won't find an agreement. So Partey is likely to leave. So where is he going? Where should he go? After Arsenal, where should he go? Should he stay in Europe? Italy? Juventus? Barcelona? Spain? Some people claim he has to go to Saudi and go and bag money. Let me know what you think of this Thomas Partey episode. Should he go to Saudi? Where do you think he should go? Where do you think he should go? Or where would you want him to go? And Arsenal fans, how sad are you? Or maybe you are happy. I know some Arsenal fans who are happy. Arsenal fans, what do you make of this Thomas Partey business? Send me a WhatsApp message. Don't call me yet. Wait. Send me a WhatsApp message. 054-257-1061. Those who are calling, wait. I'll open the phone lines a little later. You tell us. You send me a WhatsApp now. Send me a WhatsApp now. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. The other things, of course, the NBA draft. So the basketball heads, you can also send me your comments. What you make of the NBA draft. I'm sure later we might get a few words from the Ball Up Top guys. I'll see if my producers can, work the line for us so we catch up with them. Club World Cup, all the African teams are out. I want your impressions. How disappointed are you that the African teams are out? And what do you think African teams can do for them to do better in the Club World Cup? Now, the expanded version is what we'll be experiencing every 4 years. But in between, they'll be playing the Intercontinental, small, and then they'll do the Club World Cup. So let me know your thoughts on the performance of the African teams and how you think they can improve going forward. Ray, you said you wanted to say something.
Yes, see, Nathan. Before I start, give me problem.
We should give you problem. Okay, all right. No problem.
Give me problem of the day.
Okay.
But see, Nathan.
But we haven't given you problem.
You see, last time I warned politicians. To stay off sports.
Yes.
If they don't have any better plans for us. Politicians should stay in their lane and do their propaganda.
Sporty FM.
And get all the fans they want to get. If they want to deceive people or hoodwink people or make people believe they are working when they are not working, you can do that. But when it comes to the business of sports, the real business, talent development, making sure we are in a good position to produce medals, to win championships, to have athletes get brighter future, if they are not concerned about that one, then they should stay off. But give me problem and I'll tell you why I'm talking like this.
Okay.
Hello, Dodge. The problem.
sitting somewhere quietly.
Yeah.
And then I saw a picture of the Honorable Sports Minister.
Yes.
Kofi Idi Adams.
Yes.
Honorable.
Yes.
And then I saw a picture of Youth Employment Agency boss,
Yes.
Malik Basintali.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, that's nice. Youth and sports are cousins or their brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So if you find the Youth Employment Agency boss meeting the sports minister, they are possibly cooking something that will inure to the benefit of the youth who are in sports. That was my first thought. Then a few minutes later, I saw an X post. Play abroad, a game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious footballers coming soon. I didn't understand the thing. So I read it again. Play abroad, a game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious footballers coming soon.
Not to catch you. For our listeners, if you go to our Facebook stream, you find the set picture Raymond is talking about. The picture of the two gentlemen.
Now, this play abroad game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious footballers was made by Malik Basintali, the Youth Employment Agency boss. And I asked myself, what is the meaning of this? What does it mean? What is in it? Then I saw a story somewhere. The story read, the Ministry of Sports and Recreation and the Youth Employment Agency are set to launch Play Abroad, YEA Play Abroad Initiative, a program designed to create jobs and advance sports development in Ghana and beyond. Play Abroad Initiative. That is the initiative. Play Abroad Initiative.
Okay.
And then Basintali is telling us a game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious footballers.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see, if anybody thinks that you can play politics with football recruitment,
yes,
like the way they recruit foot soldiers and others into security services, it doesn't work like that in football.
Okay.
So you cannot tell me today that the thousands of youth who are unemployed, because they want to chase the dream of playing football, you have a lifeline for them by securing foreign club slots for them to go and play. That is not how the football ecosystem works. If that were the case, you won't come and meet them unemployed. If it was that easy to get a foreign club and say, oh, I have 15,000 youth, like the way he's organizing taxi drivers and others for other countries. If it were that easy, no youth who plays football will still be on the shores of Ghana trying to chase a dream of becoming a footballer.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nathan, and the sports minister must not be entertaining such conversations. You see, the sports minister has been in this job for quite a bit.
Yes.
He's been with the key players, the Ghana Football Association. He should go and ask them. He should go and ask the Ghana Football Association. He's good friends.
Yes.
How difficult or easy it is for players to secure foreign clubs, to secure connections, or to secure the chance to play in foreign clubs. Okay? You cannot play politics with this. This one, no propaganda, no play. You see, you can tell the people you give them jobs abroad to go and drive taxis or to go and do home care and to go and do all those things. But don't play politics with football.
Okay.
He shouldn't try it. You see, the football ecosystem and how players leave the source of this country to go abroad.
Yeah.
It is not child's play. You cannot tell me that you go to constituency A and say, oh, there are 15,000 footballers there. Constituency B, there are 6,000 footballers there. Talented. Constituency C, talented footballers. So I've secured foreign slots with Chelsea. Chelsea will come and take all the 15,000 and send them. How do you call it? Liverpool. I've secured 15,000 clubs. Come and take our players. It doesn't play out like that.
Yeah.
So stop giving the youth false hope. Stop giving footballers who are trying to make ends meet false hope that you are coming to secure jobs for them. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. Do you know the number of FIFA registered agents in this country who on daily basis and bringing in scouts to come and look at these boys. At the end of the day, just a handful of those boys get a chance to even go and engage in justifiers, only for just a few to be picked to play those teams that they go to. Does he know? Does he know what goes into all of that? Does he know what goes into recruitment of players for foreign clubs? Or he thinks that it is immigration or police or army where they have quotas. Constituency A, minister, MP, bring quota, bring 15 people. This one. Or he thinks that is how it works. But Sintale shouldn't deceive anybody.
But wait, do we have details of this set?
Nathan, the detail is this. This is the detail. You see, if you know you are not ready with the full details, don't come and tell us anything. He says a game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious footballers coming soon. Nathan, where in this world, does a government have a scheme where they are connected to foreign clubs? Nathan, listen, they are connected to foreign clubs so that they produce the talent for the foreign clubs to come and pick. That's a government initiative. They should be serious. They should be serious. Look, you see, by this time, any serious YEA boss should be looking at models like Right to Dream.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, I've identified that there are a lot of youth who are talented footballers, but they don't get the chance to go abroad. Some of them have gone past the age where foreign clubs will be interested in signing them.
Yes.
So, to safeguard those who are coming, what do? There should be a proper conveyor belt. We should be investing in a lot of academies. Get the right people to teach these boys so that they get to a certain level where they'll be attractive to foreign clubs.
Yes. And in those
that is the discussion that we should be having now. Not telling me game changer to come and move players abroad. To secure slots for players abroad.
And you can't do this independent of the GFA.
Nathan.
And the sports ministry. So the three entities will speak with each other.
Yes.
Because it's the football people who will know the agents and the scouts. So there's a structured thing where you know which scout is coming. You know which player he's picking.
Yes.
You know the club the player is going to. So you know
who manages the player.
You've done your part. You've created the academy. Yes. You've ensured that there's proper education. You are making sure players are treated fine. The FA is handling what it must handle.
Good.
The sports ministry is supervising at a policy level.
Yes.
Then the three come together and then we go.
Yes, you see. So YEA, what warrant do they have? Go warrant to go and say that they are trying to recruit people and go and give them to foreign clubs.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And all of these players we want to send abroad, if they have to go and play for international clubs, obviously it has to go through the FIFA transfer matching system,
which is in the hands of the GFA.
Look, you see. But Sintale shouldn't do this. You can play politics with all the other jobs you are looking for people, call center jobs, taxi drivers, tailors, carpenters, and all. You can play politics there, but don't play politics with our football. Please, let's respect ourselves in this space. And sports ministers should not be listening to some of these conversations. You should know better by now. Honorable Kofi Adams, you see, don't let these people. Don't let them come with anything and then you are fine with it. Please, no. By this time, we should be looking forward to establishing a proper conveyor belt for our talents and hope they are able to perform like Right to Dream and the likes. So that we know where we are producing the talent and we know how they can smoothly progress to the next stage. Again, please, nobody should deceive anybody. But Sintale doesn't have any foreign club anywhere that is coming to recruit youth. Nobody should be deceived. Nobody should be deceived. He doesn't have any club anywhere that is coming to recruit youth of Ghana wholesale and go and put them in foreign clubs.
I don't, and I agree with you, Rayon, when we say some of these things. It's important to give people the proper detail so we know what we are talking about.
Sporty FM.
You're right. Because
Nathan, they've rolled out, you see, he's rolled out a couple of initiatives in recent times. Okay, so there's one that they say come and register, they'll take you abroad, taxi driver, some things, all those ones. Then, after dealing with all of that, then immediately you put football in it.
As for that one, the football there, the YEA cannot solely do football by itself. No way.
It does.
Neither can the YEA or the ministry do football by themselves.
No way.
So it requires the YEA, the ministry, and The GFA.
Yes.
And Raymond, as you said, what the YEA can do is to set up. So, for example, previously we had the youth resource centers.
Good.
That's okay. Now, if you say you want to focus on football, now set up proper facilities to house these footballers with a proper pitch. But that not alone.
Proper instructors.
Proper instructors. Not only football instructors,
yes,
but conventional educational instructors, because as we've seen from Kepal a few days ago, the life of a footballer is very unpredictable. Today you are hot, tomorrow not the same.
Yeah.
Then you would have done your part of helping young people into a structured system. It's a state-run academy. They are learning football. We are teaching them other things, so they are prepped for the market.
Absolutely.
Then if you say, okay, so what do we do with these footballers? Then the GFA comes in and now you regulate or you talk to the GFA. Okay, what can we do?
Yeah.
These players can form the basis of the Starlets or the U15 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Now it is through those matches and through those channels that
will
the
be spotted.
Yes.
So it is not cast in stone that I have 15,000 youth who know how to play football sitting somewhere. And I say, oh, I have connection to 1,000 foreign clubs. Otherwise, you see your players ending up in Latvia, Suriname, Nepal, Laos.
Which player?
Oh, yes.
I'm coming. On the side. But which player is in Suriname? Suriname, what is
Nathan, today if we go to Suriname, we'll find Ghanaian players.
I'm just saying.
We'll find them there.
Ending what?
You see? Kyrgyzstan. And things.
So if we play in Latvia, that ain't bad.
That is where Latvia.
But that ain't bad. It's a good starting point, you know.
If we joke, your players will end up in some countries that you've not seen before.
That is true.
Knits and what? Some country be Knits and something.
St. Kitts and Nevis. That's in the Caribbean. They'll be on holiday.
Yes. You see, that is where your players will end up. French Grenada. Is that the name? No, you see, Nathan, look, don't joke with this thing. Look, let's be serious here. Let us not play. You see, that's why you can play politics with everything.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
But don't play politics with football.
No problem. So to you, what do you think the YEA should do? The YEA seems interested in football. What should be the way for them?
Nathan, YEA wants to create jobs for footballers.
Yes.
It is not casting stone that foreign clubs will come for these boys because you have spotted them and say you are YEA, they should come and take them. No, it doesn't work like that. Even on the local scene, you cannot get a player into House of Folk because you are YEA.
It's not guaranteed.
You cannot get a player into Kotoko because you YEA have scouted the player and say he should go to House of Kotoko. It doesn't work like that. What YEA should be concerned about is how to create a structure with the contribution of the FA, with the contribution of the sports ministry, that will serve as a conveyor belt for talents that they will identify, talents that they will groom, talents that will be ready for the next level. Find a way to get a system or an academy that will house them, that will hold them, give them the right tuition. And it won't take 2 days, 3 days. This is a long-term project.
Yes.
This is the project YEA should be focused on, not immediately trying to secure jobs for these young people. So the focus should be the future. How to secure something tangible, something that will be beneficial in the long run for these boys. So there's Winneba there. What do you do with Winneba? Okay? How do you get Winneba to be functional again? Right from school level, graduate from SHS, you see the talent. What do you do with that talent? You don't wait for that talent to now come and hustle and be running around, go past the age of 18, 19, get to 20 thereabout, when they are no longer attractive for scouts. No. So, go back to the foundation. That is what YEA should be concerned about. Go to government, go to sports minister. Tell sports minister, you have identified the gap. You have seen X number of youth who are very talented but don't have, they cannot earn a living from football. Let us find a way. Some of them have gone past that time. Let us find a way to safeguard the future. Those who are now coming, they should be the priority now. How can we make sure we have a model running like Right to Dream or the Juventus Academy or any of those other academies that we know have sold players in recent times, Shooting Stars and co. They sold players in recent times. How are they doing it? If government is interested in that bit, go the academy way and groom these boys. Let the boys reach a level where they get exposure. When they get exposure, the scouts will come for them. So the system, it settles itself along the way. Nobody forces anything.
Yeah.
Nobody forces any move. It sorts itself out.
You provide a way of footballers to be developed.
Absolutely.
And then the rest of it will take care of itself.
So please, nobody should deceive anybody. Let nobody deceive anybody. That YE is going to secure jobs for foreign players abroad. And why is the focus abroad? Why is the focus abroad? Why? Those talents who are very good, they cannot play for local clubs here. Those talents, they can secure jobs for them in local clubs here. Oh no, I'm asking. Why here? You can play abroad, play locally. You can't play locally here.
My point is, why are we even focusing on only the footballers? What about young, talented people who want to be referees? Who want to be coaches?
Oh, Nathan, I'm sure that one too will come. But you see, now it's football they want to tackle.
Fine.
You see, Nathan, governments over the last few years have engaged in a certain habit where, when it comes to matters concerning sports or football, they would not go and consult the right stakeholders. They do things on their own as politicians. The example, building of AstroTurfs and resource centers. Where was the input of the Ghana Football Association or the stakeholders? For us to go and build as many as 153 AstroTurfs. AstroTurfs that we are told have issues, pose challenges to footballers.
Yes.
AstroTurfs that are not standard size. When it comes to a standard size football pitch, AstroTurfs that do not meet those requirements. Where was the input of the key stakeholders, the football people or the Ghana Football Association? What was the input of these people? But government will decide that, this is what we want to do for sports, and they go ahead and go and do it without paying attention or properly consulting the right people. But Sintale went to the sports minister. Had he spoken to anybody from the FA, those running football, I am not sure he would have come out to this post. Because they would have told him, my brother, the system doesn't operate like this. They would have cautioned him, now look, you have to take your time. The system doesn't work like this. Nathan, as for sports and football, you can do propaganda with anything, but don't do propaganda in that space. Because we are watching and we are monitoring and we know what goes into all of that. But Sintale is now an agent. He's not a football agent. Who has a FIFA license to recruit players for foreign clubs? Is that the case? No, because that is what he's selling. That is the advert. The same way he has advertised taxi driving, furniture carpenters, masons, helpers.
Furniture selling. You see, once you enter the realms of football, it's a completely different story.
They shouldn't play there. You see, and that's what I'm saying. Politicians, look, we've seen their manifestos. We saw manifesto of MPP, we saw manifesto of NDC. We saw the number of pages they dedicated to sports. Quarter pages and half pages. We saw them. They launched their youth manifesto for NDC. We saw youth manifesto. How many lines? 7 lines. Sports. Nathan, we've seen all these things. So, we know their commitment when it comes to doing sports or helping us develop our sport. We know their commitment. We know where their focus is. We know what their priorities are. So, if they want to properly come to the table, they should come and let's properly do what would benefit us in future. They shouldn't come and be throwing baits at us. Yeah, you throw one worm there, we are trying to recruit players for foreign clubs. What do you mean?
That doesn't work.
They should stop it. They should stop. If they are not ready to develop sports and develop it well, they shouldn't even touch it. Today we are talking about the NBA draft. They think America just woke up one day and said, this is how we want to develop our basketball. No, they think they just woke up and said, we are now going to produce basketball players. They thought through it, came up with a plan, decided that this is going to be the conveyor belt. And today, we are seeing basketball players.
It goes way down.
It goes way down.
Way down.
With lots of investment. Yes. You don't want to invest. Those players that he wants to send abroad, what has been government's investment in any of those boys? Any of those youth who are loitering around wanting to play football but cannot? Who has invested a dime in any of those boys? So it goes down. See, all of these things go with investment. If today America is making headlines because of basketball, they invested. If today we are talking about football in France, in Spain, in all of those countries,
they invested
in
money.
Argentina, they invested. We don't want to invest, but we just want to be at the top and pick the benefits and pick the fruits. You see, sports and football doesn't work like that. There are knowledgeable people in the industry, but Sintale should go and consult them. They are knowledgeable people when it comes to the sports ecosystem, football ecosystem. Go and consult them and come back. Pasintali, if he's listening to me this morning, go and consult those who understand the sport and come back to us. Come better. But this is not, you see, finding a football club for somebody, it's not like finding a carpentry job or a taxi driver job.
It's a more complicated thing.
It's extremely complicated.
Okay.
I saw Kofi Adams yesterday supporting this initiative, play abroad initiative. They shouldn't be listening to these things.
737. Let's take some calls. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let me see what people are saying. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Nathan.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Michael from Blakuma.
Okay, Michael, please go ahead.
This is a reaction about Ankasa, politicians, Ankasa, Ojon, who is like I the whole taxi drivers and as a whole families before they are called the bar. But me, Malik, me football for you because all they are doing before some country against the chairman. It doesn't work like that. What I say, I was seeing about 10 years into and it's all story and I'm not about to Sporty FM. Sure. Never do one answer. I was so piece of questions. Then I was seeing the bed, now you get there at a safe far. Who put on our way? And quanta there far, and you see can edit all. Will be there, come on, and it's also 50 sorry and Anna. Walk you. It's a politician for your show, some amount for your sports number, the on person to be not. You won't from the disease, but one thing to true. Say we at the end of the day, that boy you to me now. Now about the footballers over first from about starting when who started when he Palermo and I said, who played 20 and 23 and about the fan say, play abroad. In so by now, this are Yakobo, Panoko, Tanoko. Then I started from. Who started from Palermo, Kakra, academies now build another. Ghana soccer then the excellent is Pam now. Diabolo name, Yaman, Yeshimo, or some Munday, Sanema institutions, want to see academies, starting to form. So, in other countries, a bit now about the first 17, under 20, under 23, Black Stars, not for the echo. And that's also a play abroad, now the funk of process and EFA, and Mrs. Kazakwa moved by that. And the side initiative is there, but also on questions, also on seeking the right knowledge, and strength in this iron, Omnia Collabo, Jet phone and study, coordinated opposition, not brand and classic. Now, that's it.
All right, thank you so much. Let me take another call. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Baroski calling from Japan.
All right, please go ahead.
Charlie, this matter, you know go wonder, you know why?
Why?
When allegiance on for Ghana is comedians. Serious. So this thing this man is trying to do right now, they're reacting like a comedian. Oh. And Pate movie like Pate come Madrid, it will help you. If Pate leaves us now, we come Madrid. But if you go Barca, it will worry. Serious.
Okay, all right. Let's see where Thomas Partey will end up eventually. Thank you for your call. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
This is Kojo Adam from Nungwa Elife.
All right, please go ahead.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
Raymond, the sports minister that you were talking about, that you are worried about, he thinks like them. He doesn't have license A or FIFA, whatever. He thinks exactly like them. So you don't need to worry yourself this morning thinking why he met the YEA boss having all those meetings. He thinks like them. Anything that is going to make the government of the day popular, you will be part of it. You see, our politicians have created this image of helping people over the years, and this thing, listen, I will actually plead with you to dig through it. Like, let us know what the mandate of YEA is. Let's know what the mandate of YEA is, because seriously, some of the initiatives that they are coming out with, we've been seeing all of them. We've been seeing all of you are quiet, but to venture into sports like this, trying to, I don't know, what is he trying to do? Is he going to sell the players, help them?
Yeah, you know, that's why. Look, he just put out a Facebook post, and then we saw he and the minister and all. To be brutally honest, it's not like there's a detailed policy document and all of that. That's why, if you listen, I said that, okay, let's wait to hear what all of this is about. But we are just cautioning them that if this is what they want to do, they better do it well. So we are waiting for the policy documents to see what this entails. You know, but we are just cautioning them that if this is what they want to do, they can't do it by themselves. They don't have the power, the knowledge, and the skill. Player transfer is a very complicated thing.
Yes, the sports industry is very complicated indeed. Let's hope that the policy document will have something that is interesting, something that is worthwhile. And it's because with the way things are going there, I'm not sure you can just see something like that and leave this. I don't know, because it's too shallow for me. It's too shallow. Said, you know, let's wait for the policy document and see what will happen. But that being said, these politicians will do anything to make the party in power popular. So
as for that, we don't fault them. If they are, they better do it well.
Yes, that's it.
So we are waiting for the document. All right, Kojo, thank you so much. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. We'll take a few more calls. It's 7:44. We'll take 2-3 more calls and then we proceed. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
This is Brother Samuel Edgar.
Okay.
Calling from Ashe.
All right. Please go ahead.
I just want to give a hope to Ghanaians. The news we hear about, we should just pray for the goodness of it. By your panelists, the way first he started the matter, by he's putting a pride on it that the government cannot do it. No, he's not in that position. You should allow the person to do what they are planning to do.
Okay,
but also a citizen of Ghana, so concern. You just pray for something positive.
Yes, but the concern, relax. The concern is what we are expressing. We are only saying that. He and I are saying, we are only saying that if you want to do it, better do it well.
This is Sporty FM.
They will do it well. It's a plan they are bringing, because I believe I trusted this government.
No problem.
Excuse me to say.
No problem.
Because if you want to go to our sports, in NDC time and MPP time, you see difference of sports. Don't doubt about that, either you are MPP man or not. Our Ghana Premier League, it will change next season.
Okay, again. That's wonderful. For us, we are happy. All we want is for the right things to be done.
See, Tamale Sports Stadium. Even though I hear some commentary about Straight Blue All Blacks now before they are preparing to Straight Blue All Black 19 something, they are using government this thing, but still the standard of that part, they are qualified to Premier League. But no, all that is a plan. Maybe bringing these things, some footballers can come from that Straight Blue, because there is a surrounding area there where I play football.
That is fine. That is fine. We are all happy. But we are only saying that they better do it well, or else it will not be beneficial to anybody.
they'll do it well.
No problem.
And I want to talk a little bit of. You see, you know reason why I'm putting my mouth on this. If you see our education minister.
Yes.
Do you know he received a huge amount of money from the Ghana player in Leicester the time they qualify to.
Yes, I know that. I know that because
yes,
that's
if that money enter in your account, you are saying something better. A huge amount of money. So it's a plan for either you are assemblyman or a self-employee to produce a player whereby tomorrow you get a better future.
Okay, let me ask you an interesting question. Why is it that Haruna's team, he didn't sell everybody, but he only sold Fatal? Just one player. I'm asking that. I get your point. The question I just want to ask you, this one, just a few seconds question. Why is it that Honorable Haruna Idrisu, he has his football team, why didn't he sell everybody, but it was only Fatal he sold?
Everything by step by step. He's the first player. I mean, so far, he sold to get a huge amount of money like that.
But you haven't answered my question. I'm saying that how is it that it's only Fatal who went?
But they are a football club. You move by step before you do everything. Do you know what I'm saying? This is Pando out of line. The time I was in Pando, 2001, 2002, before they qualified. See how many players out of line produced to Ghana Blaster.
How many?
This area coming cool John Boy or they have
okay, so out of that entire squad, relax. Out of that entire squad, it was only Akaminku and John Boy. The two of them made it. 2 out of how many players? Let's say even 25. Do you understand?
A lot of players will go Sada Bukari.
Okay, fine. 3. Give me a 4th one. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you, Dominic Adia. Let me help you, Dominic Adia. So 4.
They produce a lot of players. Even from our under 20 before we see the day you went to Rwanda to take that trophy.
But do you know why I get it. Do you know why I'm asking you this question?
You know, I was in the.
No, relax. Whatever. That's okay. That's what that one is irrelevant to the conversation. I'm asking. Do you know why I'm asking you this question?
No.
I ask you because let's say even 4 players came out of Pando Hearts of Lion. That is 4 out of let's say 25 in a squad. So the point we are making is that even if you want to send footballers outside, nobody has a problem. But the point is, not every footballer will make it. A lot. Do you know that the whole world, all the professional footballers we see, the whole world, all the numbers we watch, it's only 1% of the footballers who started, who got to the top. Only 1% of footballers will ever turn professional. So the point we are making is that if the YA wants to do this, it should do it well, so that listen, so that the correct players will go. I'm even more concerned about the dangers of player trafficking. I know so many players who were told we are taking you abroad and they ended up in slave camps and all kinds of things. So these are the concerns we are expressing, and we are praying that YA will listen, they'll get the right people, they'll do the right job, so that in the end, the glory the government is looking for, it will get, and we'll all be happy.
Of course.
That is all we are saying. So you and I are on the same side. We are just expressing different opinions.
Even my friend, your panel is there.
Yes, Raymond. Yes.
A serious job there in the ministry.
Sorry, you said what?
I said your man there will get a serious job there in that project.
No, he doesn't want government work. He likes his private work like that. Anyway, thank you. You know, we have other callers. Thank you for your call. 751. Let's take one more call, and then we'll move on. You see, I love callers.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, he has his.
Look, he's as concerned as we are.
Yeah.
He's hopeful as we are. We are all hopeful. Yeah, we are only expressing concern that, Charlie, let us do it well. Anyway, let me take this caller. Hello? Oh, hello? All right. it looks like we couldn't take this caller. Okay, it looks like the person is back. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Nathan.
Yes. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
This is Arnold Makate here.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Good. You see, Raymond. Good morning.
Morning.
I wish I could echo your message, your information to Basintari. You see, he cannot do Shelley. If he really wants to do Shelley, he should assist the ministry to build academy, a national academy, and that is when they can recruit youth, and then what do we call it? Agents will come and then buy those youth. You can't promise youth players that we will take you abroad. Does he think it's mason or carpentry or those things, or he thinks he's still on campaign platforms? You don't do that. We are in this country when some party was in power, they built what do we call it? AstroTurfs without consultation. And now all those AstroTurfs are even threats to players' lives. And you come and sit here because of politics, you want to talk like you can bring heaven on earth to the youth. Does he think football is like carpentry work or some mason work or electrician that you can just take them to Dubai, get construction for them to do at any given time? No. Football is a well-structured institution that you invest in and go through a due process. Players are recruited by scouts. Players are raised and properly trained by academies. Has he been able to do that even to the local teams? Has he been able to provide players to the local teams that he said he wants to provide players outside, send them outside? What kind of campaign promises is this? You don't do that. You sit down, you conjure with the football people. No matter how bad you think they are into the business. They know the in and out of it. So you speak to them, they tell you you can only build academies. And right from the academies, we can have some of the players into the local teams. Some will be brought to Europe and other places. But you don't say I will take you out there and promises people, and people are calling the show to say we should support them. What kind of support do you need for this? You're making. No, I mean, as for support, the broader principle of trying to improve football, the broader principle is what we support. The issue is with the mechanics, and that's why we are telling them to do it well. And you are also saying the same thing. Yes, he shouldn't even come out with that cry at all. That we will export players. Are you an agent? Is he an agent? Basintali? No, this is wrong. And the sports minister for sports and recreation, you are supporting this. If you don't take time, our sports is doomed. Because if a sports minister cannot differentiate what this guy has to do and what he's saying there, and he's supporting it there, sorry, let's hope for the best. This is Tanobil. Okay. Good morning to everybody.
All right. Thank you so much. 7:54. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Let's move on.
The local clubs should be worried though.
Why should they?
They are sending all the talent abroad.
No. I think that's what you see. I don't know. Again, you see, that is why I have problems, and this is something my senior Godfrey Akotubafu says all the time. Government officials who lead government entities should know how to communicate some of these things. Major policy initiatives should not be just said on a whim. You understand?
Yeah.
Should not be said on a whim. If you want to do something as big as this, you must have sat down to think through, so that when you announce everything with the mechanics, how it will be done. Then everybody gets a good idea about what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, what it is you want to do. But announcing it and not giving detail, I always say that in the absence of information, people will speculate. And that is not what you want. Anyway, let me go to the line. Our very good friend Christopher Nimley has joined us. Chris, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, my brother. I'm very well this morning.
Yes, thank you
just
so
much. The topic and the manner in which the young man has just thrown the thing out there is more or less destroying my morning.
Oh, just relax. I'm sure with some more consultation, he will fine tune it. By your thoughts, Coach Chris, your thoughts on the initiative as announced by the YEA boss.
Good morning to your discerning listeners. For me, I don't want to even look at it as an initiative. It's a non-starter. Because when you are campaigning for the people of Ghana to vote you into office, there are things you say. When you are now in office, there are things you say. This is one of the things that he would have been pardoned if he had said on the campaign platform. You allow it to go free. Some of us would have listened to it all right, but we will now look at the feasibility. How possible is whatever he has said? How possible is that? So for me, I would have just listened to it and then throw it somewhere in about a second. But now that you are in government and you've been given a renowned position to think through matters of concern to the youth of this country, you cannot just come out and say anything at all. The brain behind it may be proper, but until you are able to draft a proper policy that you yourself can look at and say, look, I have done this, I've consulted all the stakeholders, we have agreed on the plan, and this is the execution. So let's go and start from somewhere. Then we will take you serious. My only problem is that he decided to liken football to carpentry and mason, because like most of the callers have said, Nathan Kwao, this is not about carpentry. This is not about you getting somebody to go and do carpenter in Dubai and all. You shouldn't be saying such things. Look, I like the young man from afar. I admire him. I like his courage. I like his zeal, his desire. I'm so much in love with him when it comes to trying to make the youth of this country very, very happy, getting them jobs to do and all that. But they are practical jobs, and there are jobs where until you begin to put in the required mechanism to make sure it comes to fruition, you don't even say it at all. You keep it in. There are certain things that, even in your home, when you are dealing with your wife, there are times you want to surprise your wife decently, and you don't even tell her about certain things. You do it all by when everything is cooked and the food is ready to be eaten. Then you can now bring wifey on board. That wifey, this is what I've done. Then the surprise, the joy is beyond measure, and we'll all take you very, very serious. Let me help him. I was a member of the technical team that was set up, thankfully, by our current president, this same president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. When we went and we disgraced ourselves in Brazil, and we had the Jemefe Commission established to look into Ghana football and how well or how best we can make sure Ghana football goes back to the level deserving of it. Justice Jemefe, your Lordship, please, wherever you are, congratulations on your appointment as one of the Supreme Court judges. I listened to him recently doing his vetting, and I must say that he was absolutely brilliant. This is a knowledgeable person of the law, and then I agree that it was long overdue that your Lordship, Justice Jemefe, should have been as a Supreme Court judge long ago. That is just to tip it to the Lordship. Now, having said that, I listened to him recently. When he was asked specifically, what were some of the things that he put in that Jemefe Commission's report, that as a country, we should follow and make sure our football get back to the level that is deserving of it. Nathan, as a member of the technical team, we were tasked to give this country a brand of football. And in giving this country a brand of football, let me show respect to the late Uncle Ben Kofi. He was the chairman of that technical team. There was Oti Akenti, Masawu Didi Dramani, Professor Menta, the late Sam Ade, who is my godfather when it comes to coaching in this country. I was the secretary to that committee. And look, I want to encourage Mr. Basontele. Go and pick up that committee's report. Look for where our session, when I say our session, I'm referring to the technical report by the technical committee set up by the commission. He will see that we told the then commission that to get Ghana football to where it should be, we are proposing that between 2.5 to 5% of revenue collected by the, let's say, the AMA, the KMA, the BMA, all those metropolitan assembly, we should channel 2.5 of their annual resources into establishing regional academies for this country. Liaise with the Ghana Football Association. And that regional academies, we even said that it shouldn't be restricted to only football alone. But we needed to have referees, we needed to have coaches, we needed to have every aspect of the game that was required to get our football to the level deserving of it. And you know the beauty of it? We said liaise with the Ministry of Education so that when we put these boys in these academies, they will not only be taught how to play football, but they will go through basic education so that at the end of the day, the football career will only last within 15 to 17 years at most. After that, they may have professions that they will use to take care of themselves for the rest of their lives. So I'm telling him that, go and pick up that report. Thankfully, I am alive. Thankfully, Otia Kinti is alive. Masaudi Didi Dramani just got appointed by Accra House of Folk. He's still alive. Thankfully, Professor Minta is closer to the people at the Ghana Football Association. Let's go back to the table. This was a commission set up by our president, our current president, for a better use of an expression, by your president, Mr. Basantelli. By your president, I'm saying by your because it belongs to the same party of the existing president. Go back there, open that report, and let's make sure we don't play with the intelligence of the youth of this country. You think Chelsea will deal with you? You go and tell Chelsea, take this player because I have brought him as Mr. Basantelli? No, please don't do that. These things are not done like that. There's a proper way of doing it. Establish the regional, national academy. We can have 16 regional academies. Do you know the job that would have provided for so many people? Because you have to liaise with the education ministry, take teachers there, take their coaches there, take referees there. We costed, Nathan, the beauty of all these things that we put figures to those things. So I agree that in 2014, the figures obviously will not be as it will be today. So all we just need to go back is to review those recommendations, get the technocrats involved, and let's begin to think a bit practical. What he posted on the Facebook page was obviously overly theoretical, lacks practical direction. Like I've said, I'm encouraging him. I'm available. He can call me. Otia Kinti is there. We are there. We'll sit with him in his office and say, look, the brain behind it may be right, but this is the way it has to be done. But as a government, you cannot allow Keto Kreku and his people to be running football the way they are running it, destroying our football every now and then. You think the people outside there are not aware? They are aware of the way Ghana football is being run. I was talking to some of the players in Ghana recently. They said, look, we prefer to run down our contract as free agents because agents in Europe, agents elsewhere in Europe don't like to deal with our teams here because our teams here don't do things properly. They don't even have statistical records of the individual players that plays for them. So there's a bigger picture to all of this. My brother, I don't want to spend too much of your time. I think, yes, I'm happy he's put that out there. That's why you see that I'm not so much hard on him. I'm encouraging him that it may be a good idea. But for now, these are not things you put out there. And to his honorable Kofi Adams, please, like I said, when you are on the campaign platform, there are things you say, there are things you do. But now you are the Minister of Youth and Sports.
Minister for Sports and Recreation. Is Minister for Sports and Recreation.
Minister of Sports and Recreation.
Yes.
You want to recreate, you want to create, Masa, you must be a bit genuine and a bit specific in what you do. Please, please, please. So far, there are issues with the minister that some of us have gone quiet about. Raymond, if you are there, the man has still not brought the budget to the Black Stars. In September, another one is going to happen. The Black Stars of Ghana just went to play in the Unity Cup. The German Fair Commission did say that nobody should take our national team out there without proper accountability. Up to now, nobody can tell me, Nathan Kwa, nobody can tell you that we didn't make money from that tournament.
Yeah.
Where has the money gone to? Who has the money? In whose account is the money? The minister has gone quiet. As for Kofi Adams, we love him. But when we start coming and raising issues of concern, nobody will talk to any of us to calm down, and will calm down. I hope that's what this one, Raymond and myself alone, only Raymond and myself will make him accountable to the people of this country. Because at the end of the day, you took people, players on behalf of Ghana. Anything could have happened to them. And this country would have been held responsible. Later, how many times have we, look, why was it in Angola 2010? You think those Togolese players who were attacked by the military, by the, was it coup makers?
The rebels, they were rebels.
Do you think they wanted to be there? That's why they were there?
No.
It was the Togo as a country. They took them there to represent them. So whatever happened to those people, Togo was held responsible. So when you are taking our place elsewhere, we are talking, we are complaining, we are talking, we are complaining. But it is our responsibility as a country to make sure our players live and live very good. Where is the budget to the past what? Where is the budget to the under-20 competition that was held? Was it in Egypt or in Morocco? Where is the budget of the Unity Cup? How much did we make from that cup? The Black Queens, as we speak, are preparing for the Women's WAFCON. How well are they being taken care of? What is the budget with respect to them? These are fundamental things that we need to know. So, Mr. Basantelli, go sit with the minister again. Sit with the minister. Involve the football people. Some of us are still here. Oti Akinton is alive. Professor Minta is there. Call us. We are the technocrat. We will tell you through how these things go. But you cannot, in your capacity as EP, what is the YEA. As your capacity as YEA boss, go and call Chelsea. Chelsea will not come here. Do football well in this country. Establish the academies in every region, and invite the scout. They will come. They'll come and have a look at it. If there's one or two players there they know that they want, they'll take the person off. Because dude, when you are selling football players, it's not a mass market. It's not a wholesale that anybody, anything at all goes. No, specific requirement, standard will take these players to where they belong. Not because Basantelli or the YEA boss has recommended them. Nobody knows him in football. Nobody knows him in football. Nobody. So he should at least do things in a way that will get all of us to be supportive of him, and then make sure that these things succeed. But please, this cannot be done the way he prescribes it. Nathan, this is what I want to say today.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. All right, take care. That was Christopher Nimley, coach and football pundit, sharing his thoughts on the initiative that the YEA wants to embark on. We all want the betterment of Ghana football. We just want things to be done well. YEA, there's a certain role you can play. We want you to play that role well. You cannot front player transfer, player movement. No, that's not your work. There's this particular thing you can do in this grand story that will eventually lead to players getting contracts. There's a part you can play. If you focus on that, all other things will align. Michael Asairedo, our colleague from Sporty 91.3 in Kumasi, is joining us. Michael, your thoughts? I'm sure you also want to have a quick bite on this before we proceed.
Yeah, but I think it's a populist agenda, and it was not carefully thought through. And if they did, then they would have consulted widely and engaged much more experts in this field to brief them on exactly what they need to do. I think the intentions are clear. They want to help the youth, but how to go about it is where the issue is. And it led them to come out with this weird suggestion that they will want to secure slot for local footballers to play for foreign clubs. I think it's something that they didn't really think through well, and it needs a revision. In my opinion, if they monitor the trend regarding transfers per the recent global transfer reports that have been coming, it means that Ghana is making some progress in terms of the number of players we're able to export outside the country, even including women's football. And then the revenue that is coming in, that should have given them some kind of knowledge as to, or idea about as to how to go about this. Because, for instance, if you are doing just men's football from 2020 until 2024, I just opened the FIFA Global Transfer Report website. In 2020, we exported 172 players. The number increased to 195 in 2021. In 2022, it jumped from 195 to 255. In 2023, it shot from 255 to 293. Then, in the last report, in 2024, it increased marginally from 293 to 295. So it means that there has been an increase in the number of players who are leaving the shores of Ghana to go play for clubs, either in Europe or maybe other regions. Then, in terms of the fees, the transfer fees realized, in 2020, Ghana made $1.41 million from transfers. $6.3 million was realized in 2021. The figure stuck at 6.3 in 2022. Then it remained 6.3 again in 2023. But in 2024, it appreciated to $7.62 million. So what this tells us is that these are monies that are coming to privately run clubs who develop their own players. They scout them, they nurture them, develop them, and make sure they are ready for the market they are selling to. Now, it should give us an idea that if government is coming in to improve the football sector, not just set up their own academy. I think that there are various ways we can go about our talent development, which will make sure that talent that is leaving Ghana are going with a certain profile and then added value. Right now, we are not really producing talent with an enhanced value. And then we are also producing talent with a limited technical profile. But if there is investment in the sector where government is pumping the necessary investment into the right sporting infrastructure, if government is investing into technical education to make sure that those who are training and developing these kids are well equipped in terms of knowledge and resources, and then the footballers themselves are being prepared through the right means, it means that if we are making $7.62 million as it stands now, even when we are not doing things right, then when we do things right, we are likely to double that figure or triple that figure. And that means government, before they start thinking about setting their own academies, need to invest into revamping the sector, restructuring it, and making it better so that they can maximize returns or revenue that we generate from player transfers. Again, a government invests into the sector and then there is enough as regards infrastructure, technical men, and also the footballing talent, then they can go ahead to set up their own academies and look at options where they can also generate a certain amount of the transfer revenue themselves. And I say this because the revenue that I mentioned, which was a $7 million plus, are going to private people or individuals who are running their football project. Right to Dream is a wholly private initiative. The other football academies that we have and the football clubs based in the Division 3, Division 2s, who are exporting players like Atta Legacy and the others, they are running their own thing. Now, a government is doing something like this. What it means is that they will have regional academies and then one national academy. These regional academies will cater for the various regions. So maybe Ashanti region will have a regional academy based in Kumasi, and it allows for talent to be scouted within Kumasi and then its environs. The same applies to the Bunu regions and then the Volta regions, and it is scattered across. It means we are scouting for talent who would have been lost or not found if these private people are doing their own. For instance, when Right to Dream embark on their Justify Your Inclusion exercise, they are able to have or screen thousands of players, but at the end of the exercise, Right to Dream will not select more than 10. So what it means is that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to be part of such initiatives. But when government sets up its own and it's been done properly, it means that we have thousands of talent who will be put through the respective regional academies, and the best of the rest will get into the national academies. Now, if government is exporting these talents, the monies are coming to them. Now, there are various categories of transfers. The ones with the sell-on clauses. So it means that government can even export these players at a certain fee, but there is a potential to make more money from them if they go to their respective clubs, develop further, enhance their values, and then they are transferred. And these are some of the things that they can look at to better our lot. And then when you do this, you create opportunities for not just the clubs, not just the kids, but you are also generating additional revenue to pump back into the sector. And it's something that they can look at. And it cuts across both the male and then the female football sector. Because in women's football too, you can see that our numbers are increasing. So for women's football, in 2020, we were only able to transfer 3 players outside Ghana. In 2021, it increased to 14. In 2022, 31. There was a drop in 2023. That is when 19 players were transferred outside Ghana. But in 2024, the number has increased again and is risen to 38. If you are looking for transfer fees, it is not the same as the men's, but you can see that there is an increase. In 2020, 2021, we were not recording transfer fees as regards female footballers moving outside of Ghana. But in 2022, we recorded $13.9 thousand. In 2023, the number dropped to $3,500. And then in 2024, it increased to 16.2K. What I am aiming at is that there is a potential here that we can invest in and generate revenue. And this revenue will be pumped back into the local sector to improve our clubs. Again, the other time there was this guy who works with Jeremy Frimpong who came to the state. I think his name is Kepal. And he made the statement that very few of our footballers actually make it to the top. In this case, it's true. Even if government forms football academies, not all of these players will be transferred outside the country. But the other side of it that is also good or positive is that these talents, when they are properly trained and developed, even if they don't secure transfers outside Ghana, they will likely get transfers to clubs within Ghana, and they will come on to improve the quality or the standard of play in our local leagues. So if you are properly trained, you go through the respective Ghana Football Academy training model. If experts have been hired and then technical people have been trained, they will develop you to have a certain technical profile. And when you play in the pyramids of the Ghana football sector, eventually you are improving the sector in terms of standard of play, and it will help our game. It will help it grow. So I think it is a win-win situation when they look at more of talent development, more of investing into infrastructure, more of investing into technical upgrades or upgrades for those who are the technical handlers, and then we'll reap the medium-term and the long-term benefits. I think that works for me than just adopting a populist agenda, securing slots in clubs. And I don't think any serious club will be willing to work with a government agency so that they can get players, because these clubs have their own agencies that they work with. They are FIFA licensed agents that they operate with, and these players and their agents have even given mandates to some of these people outside the country to secure clubs for them in various regions. So for instance, there are agencies that represent the MENA region. They are constantly engaging Ghanaian players, looking for opportunities for them. So if it is Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, these agents are representing the interest of these players, and they don't need the YEA to be doing that for them. The YEA is a purely youth sector, and they can look at various youth in sport initiatives that will yield more benefits than this populist agenda.
Well, let's see. I'm sure maybe over time we might have a clearer, more detailed policy document to see what exactly the play is, to see what exactly the YA wants to do. But I insist, look, the YA may have grand ideas in terms of helping sport or football, wonderful, but just make sure the ideas are executed well. That's all we want. 8:22. This is the Sporty Breakfast live on Sporty FM. You can send in your thoughts 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. There's a lot happening on the local scene. Teams are stocking up. Teams are upgrading their teams and updating their rosters ahead of the next football season. Mainly, some of the big clubs, Kotoko, have been signing players. They've been doing the announcements regularly. Hearts of Oak themselves are in the market. Gold Stars, because of the demands of winning the Ghana Premier League and hoping to play or hoping to do well on the continent, are also adding players. I'm sure some clubs are doing business on the quiet. We'll get into all of that in a bit. On the Sporty Breakfast, 054-257-1061. You can send in your comments. Raymond Yamado is here. Michael Asai-Bredu is joining us. Mo Shaban has also joined us to have this conversation on transfers on the local scene. But let's just take a spot of music just so we can breathe a bit. And when we come back, we get into all talk of transfers on the local scene. This is the Sporty Breakfast. We'll be right back.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
Out of where we would just say, what about this? What's this like for you? What if we went this way? No. That's not right. But you could do this. And we kept pulling from historic moments through F1 and how to tell this underdog story of this team that has very little to fight with. How are they going to become competitive? Now let's get to, we've shot the movie a year and a half later and we're putting it together. Lewis would come in and he could tell you if you're in the wrong gear at turn 6. You know, the race knowledge is just unfathomable. He could tell you on whatever track we're on, when you're heading down the straight, there's a reverb that comes off the left wall. You need to add that sound in. The detail is extraordinary. It's just extraordinary.
This is better than my garage. I've been racing for 32 years, and I've loved the sport since I was 5 years old. When we came across there was this moment where I got to speak with Joe about this potential project, Joe and Jerry, who asked me to come on board, and I jumped at the opportunity. And to be honest, I'd been really trying to figure out what could be a stepping stone from racing one day, a kind of a side stepping stone of something I'm also really passionate about. And movies is one of those things that I love pretty much as I do racing. And so I got this opportunity to go back in the background where I got to meet up with Jerry and Joe at Jerry's office, the legend himself, and meet with Brad and go through this script. And it was all a big learning process for me. I'm learning how they like to work, all the processes that go in place to build and create a movie.
I'm excited for people who actually don't know anything about Formula One to watch this movie, because they'll instantly see that there's so many themes that are relatable to real life. And that it's not just a racing movie, there's characters in there that you would know, that you'd walk past on the street. We all know a Joshua who has this huge challenge and he's trying to overcome adversity and prove himself to the world. So when people leave the cinema, they're going to feel how they felt back in the day when they watched those big movies. They're going to wish they were of that world.
Yeah, there's so many different nationalities and accents in the movie, and they seamlessly sort of come together. So that is really nice to see in a movie. Like, and then it reminded me of when I was younger, like that feeling where you're like cheering and you want, like, it really evokes this like feel good, like feeling with the music and everything. And these like people who were losing, like learning and doing well. Like, it just was like a movie I would have seen when I was younger, that I would have remembered every line. And so I really hope people feel that like nostalgia feeling of like, that's why movies are so great. It's like you remember them forever and the feeling that you felt. It's also like a family movie too, like it's quite age appropriate. And a date movie also, because it's a little romance and there's something for boys and girls in there. Yeah, I think I just hope they feel like it was worth the money to go to the theatre because the sound and the camera work and everything.
Send me your messages on 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061.
When she steps in the club,
The local transfer scene is active. It's quite active. Teams are doing business. We mentioned Kotoko and Gold Stars. They have continental assignments next season. So, sorry. So they are trying to get their teams in shape. And other teams are doing business as well. Mo Shaban is joining us. We'll talk a bit about local transfers. Raymond Yamado is hovering around. Michael Asaibird is also joining us on the line from Kumasi. Mo, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, and you?
Yes. I'm fine. Great. Just general thoughts on the kind of business that's been happening. I was just a little quiet, but teams are still doing one or two things.
So usually, the transfer window actually is not too hot from the beginning, but this time is different. The transfer window ends on August 24th, 11:59 p.m. So usually it happens in August. So you have the big deals happening in August. But this season, a lot of the teams struggled. Again, if you look at the transfer window pattern, it is always the two teams who are going to represent Ghana in Africa who usually do buying, releasing players just after the season. So last season, for instance, immediately after the season, Samatex were in the market and Swatraman were in the market, and then Kotoko had to folk were quiet because they wanted to now take their time, look at their technical team, assess the players. They would have to let them go. But this time it's changed. All the 18 Premier League teams, including the newly promoted sides, are in the market, and it starts from the technical team. They want to do something right. So years ago, you would see clubs signing players. Then at the end of the day, in August, they appoint a coach. September, the league kickstarts. This time, it is different. Teams are now looking at getting their technical team set before they start doing recruitment. So, for instance, Techiman 11 Wonders, they are not in the market yet. They want to get their head coach first because their coach, David Nyaba, is a license B holder. Hoho United would have to get a new head coach. They are not in the market because their head coach is a license B holder. Then teams like Ediana FC are not certain as to if they are going to stay with their head coach, going to appoint another head coach and all that. And so it makes it very difficult. But teams that are currently in the market, Heart of Folk, Kotoko, Bibiani Gold Stars, who are going to represent in the CAF Champions League, Kotoko, who are going to play in the CAF Confederation Cup, Brekum Chelsea, Mediama Sporting Club. They've let go some key players. And so a lot of the teams are doing market. And for me, I think that this time it's more positive because teams want to prepare on time. They want to get their team set before August. Maybe on the transfer deadline day on 24th August, we are going to see only 1-2 deals that is expected to happen, maybe last minute deals, but it won't be too much like it does happen years ago. Now the teams are going to do a lot of work and a lot of business. Now, for example, as I'm speaking to you now, Hearts of Oak on paper have set a technical team, and that is head coach Masudi Dramani, who has officially started work, but will be unveiled next week. The new technical team will be unveiled next week, the entire technical team. Then the goalkeepers coach Najao Issa is training with the team. He's been part of Masudi Dramani. Yesterday, the first assistant coach who resigned from Baseke Holy Stars, Abdullah Ghazali, has arrived in Accra and is set to join the team today, this morning at Pobiman. So he's going to start training with the team today at Pobiman. Now, the second assistant coach, Fifi Hansen-Parker, who is the head coach of Golden Cake, would report to training today. So that is the exclusive news at Heart of Oak. He will report to training.
Fifi Parker Hansen is reporting to training today.
But then they are not done with the agreement. He will be there today. After that, they are going to meet and look at his deal. And so by next week, Monday, Tuesday, Heart of Oak is expected to unveil their new set of technical team. Didi Dramani, Fifi Hansen-Parker, Abdullah Ghazali, Najao Issa to their supporters and football followers. And so that is something around there. But as I'm speaking to you now, there is a conversation because as at yesterday, a team around Rwanda wanted Prince Kobuna Owusu, who at a point in time was expected to sign for Heart of Oak in January. Then, even as at last 2 seasons, he was expected to sign for Kotoko. So he's been a hot cake in the last 2 seasons. Now, today, Prince Kobuna Owusu will be at Heart of Oak training grounds. And he's going there to meet the head coach. And so this is a positive news around Heart of Oak. Maybe he is expected to agree a deal today with Heart of Oak, and then by weekend sign a contract with the club. But as it stands now, he'll be meeting the Heart of Oak technical team today for a possible deal. So that is something around Prince Kobuna Owusu, exclusive updates around him. So it's positive. We are seeing a lot of interesting deals, and we'll talk more about it as
I see. Earlier, I know that Kotoko's dealings have been more public because they've announced some players and all. Earlier this week, Michael Asabedi was giving us some context to some of the signings. In addition to what we know or what has been made public, what more can you tell us in terms of Asante Kotoko? Are they done with their business? Will they bring in players? Will other players be exiting in addition to those we already know?
Well, there will be a lot of players who are going to leave, and there will be a lot of players who will be coming in. For example, Kotoko have officially written to Nations FC for Sadiq Al-Hassan, and Sadiq is a midfielder. He's played for Kotoko before, and he's played for Dreams FC. And the last 2 seasons, he's been consistent for Nations FC. Kotoko have written to Nations. Nations have responded, and they've given the green light that Sadiq could negotiate his personal terms as they also negotiate the transfer agreement with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So that is a news around it. By Saturday, Sunday, I think Kotoko should be through, because in terms of transfers, Kotoko are very quick. They make sure that they do their deals on time. If they spot a player and they want to work on the player within 2 to 3 days, they're able to let go or get the deal done. And so Sadiq's deal is pending. Then they are yet to announce the sign of Dari Aziz Haruna, their goalkeeper from Bichemi United. They are yet to announce Zakaria Fusini from Birkum Chelsea. He is a centre back. The announcement could be done today or tomorrow because they've got a lot of deals to do. One of the news that is coming out has to do with Victor Drew. He did his medical last week. He is a right wing back. He could play as a midfielder. He's versatile. He's worked under Karim Zito at Dreams FC when they won the MTN FA Cup in the 2022-23 season. Victor Odro was part of the team. Before that, he's been part of Dreams FC for 3 seasons. He signed for Nations FC for 2 seasons now. But last season, we didn't see much of him due to injury. But I think Karim Zito feels he could be positive in the team. He could add up something to his project. But the reports coming in is that Victor Odro has failed his medical.
Okay.
And that is why the negotiations are not true, because they agreed on everything with Nations and all that. But as at now, the agreement has not been finalized. And per the report coming out, it is saying that Victor has failed medical, so he won't be eligible to sign for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It means that Kotoko would have to go to the market again and look for another alternative. That is a new right back to complement Lord Amwa, because they've let go Andran Ajite and all that. So that is something going on. And, at a point in time, they wanted Walid Hussein Nema. Walid was playing for Nswatraman. They had a negotiation with him. Walid was expected to come to Kumasi. That was last week to undergo medical and sign a contract with Kotoko. Walid delayed and then later sent them a message that he's got an offer outside to go and play. Then he started negotiation with Heart-of-Oak. Then at a point, negotiations was ongoing with Heart-of-Oak. They agreed to meet in Accra for medical. He also sent them a message that he's got a deal in South Africa, and so he won't be eligible to play for them. So Walid swerved Kotoko, came to swerve Heart-of-Oak, and he's on his way to South Africa to sign a deal. So Kotoko are looking for midfielders, right back to complement their deals, and even a centre forward, because Kwame Poku is there, but Samson Iduku has left the team. Isaac Minta will be there, so maybe one deal, one attacker to beef up. They will have 4 strikers because of Africa. You have to also look at the league, because it's you're going to play the league for 8 months. You are going to play in Africa. A lot of injuries, a lot of problems would happen. So they are doing more deals. But it looks like Nations FC are doing more deals this time.
I see.
Letting go Emmanuel Contour. Contour was their player. They loaned him to Young Apostles, but officially they've transferred him permanently to Gold Stars, who are going to participate in Africa. And then Barry Maban, they signed Barry Maban from Sefi All Stars. Sefi is very close to BBN. And then last season, majority of the boys that came from Sefi made an impact for Gold Stars. And so it looks like now they want to focus on getting the boys, the area boys, to play for them. And so Barry Maban has also signed from Nations. And Nations are letting go Sadiq. And currently, Heart-of-Oak have written to Nations for Abdul Karim. This is exclusive. They want
they want Abdul Karim.
A
few days ago, there were rumors circulating around Simpson.
Yes.
Razak Simpson.
Yes.
What's the latest on that?
All right. So last week, Coach Masudi Draman, he worked with Razak Simpson. He's worked with Ebenezer Aban at local Black Stars. So he knows the local boys. And, coming to Heart-of-Oak, the focus is to get about 6 players who have played for the national team or very experienced in the league. That is the focus, to get 6 key players who are very experienced in the domestic league. And one of the players the coach was looking at is Razak Simpson. And Heart-of-Oak officially wrote to Nations that release Razak Simpson for us. We need him. Let's bargain. Let's talk about him. And Nations have also responded to us. And they are waiting for Heart-of-Oak to come back.
What did they tell her?
So they've told they are ready to sell, but they have given them their price.
I see. So now it's an issue of price.
Yes.
I see. Interesting. Michael, as I already let me bring you in. I don't know where this will end, but Nations, according to Mo, they have stated their price for Razak Simpson. Hearts will now have to match the price. And so they can talk business. Hello, Michael. Can you hear me?
Sporty FM.
Yeah, I can hear you, Nathan.
Yes, I was just saying that. What do you make of this Heart-of-Oak pursuit of Razak Simpson? We did hear the news. They were interested, but from what Mo is saying, Nations have also given them their price. So I guess it's a matter of Heart-of-Oak meeting that price.
Well, definitely, and I think maybe the amount Nations FC mentioned scared them, and they decided to just take it cool. Now, Razak Simpson Arguably, yes, the best centre back in the league now. He's been very consistent for the past 2 seasons. If you look at his performances, it's appreciated, and his value has also appreciated as well. So I think any local club that is willing to do business with Nations FC regarding this player would need to go prepared. You need to go with a sackload full of money to convince them to sell. And I think the Nations FC team are looking at maybe a foreign offer for him, because with the demands they are making for the player, it will only be very much possible that a foreign club will be able to pay such a figure. But for the local clubs, it is going to be very difficult for them to pay exactly the amount that Nations FC is demanding for Razak Simpson. But it only tells of the investment that has gone into the player to get him to where he is. It has not just been about his performances, but there was a deliberate attempt from Nations FC to push Razak Simpson out there. There was a Razak Simpson narrative that was created. There was a certain personality that was created in the media, and it's all possible because Nations FC decided to do that, and they've helped the player. They've pushed the player out there. Eventually, he's gotten a national team call-up. He's played for the Black Stars, and more recently at the Unity Cup, he played in all the games that the Black Stars played. So I think that he deserves such a fee. But can our local clubs pay such a figure for his services? And that becomes the issue. So it's much more about the purchasing power matching the demands of a selling club. And I think, but for foreign clubs, I doubt if the local clubs here will be able to offer the figure for a player like Razak Simpson. But it only tells that Nations FC are a club willing to sell. You see, when Mo was speaking, he mentioned the likes of Raymond and even Emmanuel Contour. They have a deep squad. They sent some on loan last season. Some were even part of a team last season. But they are always willing to do business with any club that approaches them for any of their players. And so when you go there, their doors are open. They will discuss terms with you. If you're able to pay, then they allow the player to discuss personal terms and a possible move to that particular club. And for Contour, for instance, he was not going to get much more minutes in the Nations FC team because the players already available were sure starters, and there were players that Coach Kasimo Kansemengo trusted. It is not because Contour is not good. If you see Contour moving to BBN Gold Stars, it is not because moving to BBN Gold Stars, it is not because he won't fit in at Nations FC, but it is because the options available at Nations FC are many. And they feel he's a player that they can cash in. He's very young. He played consistently for Young Apostles. And Nations FC feel that they can cash in on him, make some money, and then move on to either get another player to replace him to develop, and then eventually they can also sell as well. So the Nations FC project is one that they are doing, one to achieve success on the pitch, and also achieve success in terms of selling players and making money. And I think it is a model that a lot of these clubs will envy. They have players in their fold, and a lot of clubs are interested in their players. And definitely they are willing to do business. If you can match up to their demands, then they will do business with you. But I want to look at the transfer being done by BBN Gold Stars and the wisdom behind it. You look at the players that they've signed. Yesterday, I was mentioning a list for you. Permit me to go through them. And you will see that they have Emmanuel Contour, a central defensive midfielder. They signed him from Nations FC. Seth Kojo, who is a fullback, formerly of Bechem United, has also played for 11 Wonders before, has also joined them. But Seth Kojo is also versatile, and he can play as a midfielder. There is Barima Ba, a wing attacker signed from Nations FC, formerly of Sefi Asafo All Stars, and then Emmanuel Ejay, who is a central attacking midfielder and a right winger at Baseke Holy Stars. They recruited him. Emmanuel Ankra is a centre back, previously played for Nswacheman FC.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
They have signed him on board. Bright Ejay, formerly of Ediana Stars, went abroad and then he's back. Then Emmanuel Fosuche, formerly of Sky FC and Young Apostles, who's a central midfielder and a central attacking midfielder. Now, the wisdom behind this is that if you check the age, bar Bright Ejay, the rest of these players are not aged beyond 25 years. 21, 22, 23. And it is a model that they saw that it brought them success last season, especially under Frimpong Manson. They went for the likes of Amwafo Farouk from Koforidua Sempefi, Kelvin Opon from Bofakwatano, Emmanuel Kobe. These were young players with low profiles, but they came and they saw the level of their contribution and they played a role in the title that BBN Gold Stars won. And they feel that, yep, they've qualified for Africa, but again, they will be competing on 3 fronts next season, in the CAF Champions League, in the FA Cup, and then in the Premier League. They will need a deep squad, a squad that can compete healthily or compete fairly. Again, they will not be in a position to win the CAF Champions League. So it will not really make much business sense if they go and buy marquee players. And even in Ghana, I don't think there is any player here who has that personality, is very popular, who has tasted Africa for like 5 consecutive seasons. None. So even if they are splashing the cash on the big name players in Ghana, they will still be getting relatively players with low experience playing in the continental competitions. And it would not make much business sense, because the realistic target that Gold Stars can set for themselves in Africa is to make the group stage, and they are done. Even if they make the group stage, it is highly successful. And so they think if they recruit young players who are hungry for success and will want to be coached, it is better for the coach to just put them together, get them to play according to how he wants them to play, and try out in Africa to see if they will be successful. If not, these are the same crop of players who will help them in terms of their domestic ambitions, whether they want to defend the Premier League title, because I don't remember the last time a team won the league title and defended it successfully. It has not happened since the league transitioned into an 18-club league, and then winning the FA Cup. That it has proven that they can do it, because House of Folk won the league and the cup, and then the next season House of Folk won the cup. BBN Gold Star did not win the cup, so if they are having a go at the cup, it means that it's possible. So they want to assemble a core group of young players blended with experience, and the experience will run through every department. If you go to their defense, they have Vincent Tatinga. If you come to their middle, they have Apia Makati, and they feel if they add Bright AJ to the attack, he brings that needed experience to take them there. And there are even talks of them adding foreign players, maybe players from Burkina Faso, from the French countries that are surrounding us, in Togo. Maybe they will try and then add a couple to see if they can uplift the standards of the team. But this is what Gold Stars intend doing. And then it only communicates about clubs now trying to get a certain strategy that backs their transfer policy. They want to tailor their transfer approaches to how the club wants to operate. And I think it is very positive. In as much as they might not have outright sporting directors or technical directors, you can see a certain method behind how they recruit players. And I think it is positive, and we need to encourage some of these things.
We'll see what happens. Mo, so what are we to expect in coming weeks? Which teams do you think will be very active? House of Oak, for example, I think they are yet to do some heavy business. They've brought in a new coach, a new technical team. Just give us your, what you've picked up in terms of the teams that are likely to do some big business between now and the end of the window.
Well, so like I stated, Kotoko and Gold Stars are going to participate in Africa. So for now, they are to do more deals in the transfer market, especially this week and next week, because you have to get your team start preparing. And for Kotoko, they have the advantage to play hard to folk next week as part of their preparations for Africa. And again, you need to test your new players, and that is why all the players they've signed are currently in Kumasi and have started training with the team, even though some of them are yet to be unveiled. Now, for BBN Gold Stars, they are also focusing, like Asaribudi said, they are focusing on young players, catching some players who are not getting enough playing time. For example, Barry Maban has not had enough playing time since the signing of Emmanuel Arnaud, and Nafiu Silimana, after picking form, is struggling, and then they are top scorer this season. And so it is becoming difficult for some of the players to have enough playing time. For example, Konto, he was not part of their plan, so officially you have to let him go. And so Gold Stars will go into their market. And then for now, Gold Stars are to finalize the deal of Bright AJ, finalize the deal of Seth Kojo. You know, at a point in time, even Nations FC wanted Seth Kojo. They were battling with Gold Stars on the player. So they have to make sure they finalize those big deals. But at Heart of Folk, they are looking at top 6 players who have had a feel of the Premier League, especially when Masoud has worked with them at the Black Galaxy camp. So he's spotted some players he wants them in the team. Now, before he signed, there were players who did medical, like Jonah Atukwe, like Imano Sapon.
Jonah Atukwe, the stories were around that. He was on his way.
Yeah, he did the medical, and they were negotiating. But when Didi took over, he told them to hold on every deal. Pause on every deal. Let me have a training session with the old players who are on loan and everyone. Let everybody come, like Suraj and every player who is not having a feel of how to focus last season. Let the player come. Let me assess them. Let's train together. Give us some days. Then I can quickly conclude on the players that I want. But for now, the coach wants Prince Kobuno Wusu. You know, he's worked with him at the Black Galaxy camp. He wants Prince Kobuno Wusu. And as we speak, maybe if everything go according to plans, then Prince Kobuno Wusu would be the first deal of Coach Masoud Didi Dramani. And he wants him for the President's Cup as well. You know, the next week Sunday. So he wants the deal done by next week Tuesday, because the player is already free agent. He's been free since January after his return from Iraq. And so he's looking at getting the deal done. And aside Prince Kobuno Wusu, he wants some 5 big deals, even including Ebenezer Aban of Heart of Lions. Heart of Folk are monitoring the player. And it looks like he's looking at all the players he's seen at the Black Galaxies. These are the players he wants to work with. Then the old players, he's going to give some of them an opportunity to stay for one more season to assess them in their games. But for now, he wants Aban, he wants Simpson, he wants Prince Kobuno Wusu, and other players is yet to confirm to the management. And so, and this time, the management are ready to buy the players for him. Yes, and that is the big surprise around it. They are willing, because if a club would write to Nations that, look, we want Simpson, quote your price for us, and then we are going to negotiate for the deal, then it means they are ready to buy any player in Ghana. As I already made a point, and it was very clear. We have young players in Ghana. We've got the talent, but it's difficult to have a player who has had a feel of the league for so many years. Even Razak Simpson, this is his second season after Liberty Professionals. Even at Liberty, he was not a starter there. And then he went to WAFA. He played for Division 1 league side for 2 seasons before joining Nations FC permanently. Amankuna has not played so much in Africa. He signed for Kotoko in 2021-22. He got the opportunity, but he wasn't a starter at Kotoko. So these are players, yes, in terms of names in Ghana we can mention, but in terms of Africa experience, we don't have those players in the GPL. But then, of course, you need a coach to transform such players as to become superstars. Like Razak Simpson have been transformed by Mingle. You know, Razak came in as a Division 1 player from WAFA, but then Kasim Mingle can say at Nations have managed to transform this player as a superstar to the extent that he plays for the Black Stars regularly in the last few games. So I think that the market will be very hot, especially with the energy the big teams are coming in with. The energy, and that brings a difference. But I'm looking at the newly promoted.
I was about to ask you what are they doing?
Yes, the newly promoted sides are looking for coaches, and now it is putting pressure on them. But some of them, for instance, Hohoi and 11 Wonders are looking at finalizing deal on coaches. For 11 Wonders, they are looking at Safu Castro or Salifu Fatau. Salifu Fatau is a former Heart of Lions coach. Is currently the U20 assistant coach. They want him as the head coach, and they are looking at Safu Castro, RTU head coach. And so these are the deals, and they want to finalize on these deals before they start considering players. But for 11 Wonders, they might not do too much of their signings. But you know, even with their right back Farouk Ameyao, he's being chased by Heart of Folk. But the the battle on getting the player signature is on hold because of the new head coach who is yet to approve on getting the player or not, that right back. And so 11 Wonders would also go into the market and get some few players, but for now they are looking at settling on head coach before the end of the week, and so that is a pressure. And Hoho United are also looking at settling on head coach before they go to the transfer market. But for them, Hoho have got a lot of players. You know, they brought in a lot of the Liberty guys, and so the experience is there. Maybe Hoho would consider, because at the attack, Farouk, Ganiu has played in the Premier League. It's only Farouk who has not had the feel of the Premier, but even with Farouk, 2 consecutive seasons, top scorer of the club, 1 season top scorer of the league, joint top scorer, 1 season top scorer of Zone 3. You don't need anything to assess him again. He's a potential Premier League player. For you to win a goal king back-to-back for the club, 1 as a goal king entire league joint, 1 as Zone 3 top scorer, then you've got something to prove in the Ghana Premier League. Ganiu, in the 2020-21 season, he scored in 6 consecutive Premier League games for 11 Wonders. Okay. And so Ganiu too has got something in the Premier League. You don't need any striker. Maybe if you look at Safiano, he's played for Liberty Professionals. Buama has played for Liberty Professionals. Paul Kwame is there. Daniel Emisan. So they have the material. Maybe they would need 2-3 players to beef up. They've got the facility. They've got everything. Suede All Blacks would also, for now they are settling on their coach. I'm sure their coach will go with them in the Premier League. He's coached Olympics, and so the experience is there. New Dubiase, Zema Kotoko, and he's back again with Suede All Blacks in the Premier League. They need to give him the opportunity, and so it looks like the management are satisfied with the coach, and so they will look at which players are going. For now, we know the top scorer of the Access Bank Division 1 League, men's and junior Rudolph, is expected to leave for a deal in Europe, and so they have to get a replacement for Rudolph. Aside that, they are looking at beefing up from the goalkeeping department. They are looking at 1 player from Soccer Intellectuals and all that. So the All Blacks are also in the market. Maybe from next week we'll be able to come out with their clear-cut projects in terms of transfers.
All right. Interesting stuff happening on the local scene in terms of transfers. We'll see what the teams will be doing. But let me thank Mo Shaban. Mo, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll speak again soon when the business starts to get more intense. We'll bring you back to talk some more local transfers. Thank you so much, Mo Shaban. You can send your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What are your thoughts? Are your favorite teams buying the players you want them to buy in the Ghana Premier League? Kotoko fans, are you happy? Hearts of Oak fans, which players do you think the team needs? Yes, Michael, did you say something?
So there was an interesting development that happened.
Okay.
At Asante Kotoko's first training session ahead of a President's Cup. So yesterday, as part of their training program, they decided to come and then train, do their own stuff. But they came to meet over 25 players waiting to start their own Justify Your Inclusion. So the club had to compromise. They had to break their own training schedule and then allow for a period of justification process. So the 25 players that came trained with Asante Kotoko, trying to see if they can get an opportunity to register for the first team. And of the 25 players, some included former Dreams FC player Ishmael Dede, and then also former Asante Kotoko player, central defender Emmanuel Ajimambedu. He goes by the nickname Spirito Zaza. Then there were a couple of Division 1 League players and the others. So this is what actually happened at Kotoko's training grounds. And these players were brought by some of the fans, sympathizers of the club, people around the club. And although the management were not so pleased, they just had to give in, because you see, a club as political as Kotoko, you need to be very tactful in how you approach some of these things. So this is what happened yesterday. It wasn't part of the plans. And today, it is expected to continue right until Saturday. They will play pre-season friendly. Then on Monday, a final pre-season friendly. Then they will select the players that they will want to be part of the Asante Kotoko first team from the justifier process. But through the justifier to yesterday, Zakaria Fusaini trained with the team. He is not justifying his inclusion in the team. He has already registered. There was a mishap regarding him having his first interview and that, but he had to join the training session. And so these are some of the developments that happened. And then Francis Akwa also had his first training session. So Kotoko have been forced to do a justify your inclusion in as much as it wasn't part of the management's plans.
Interesting development there. Michael, thank you for that. Thank you, Mo Shaban. Mo Shaban joined us to talk some Ghana Premier League transfers. We'll see. The next few weeks should be interesting. We'll bring Mo back to, touch on some more transfers as and when they happen. All right, it's 9:01. Let's hop on the jet. Let's get to the United States to talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. And remember that Sporty FM's coverage of the Club World Cup in the US is probably brought to you by Electroland. Electroland are the dealers in Samsung, and the Samsung kickoff promo is on. It's a go for savings. Now get to your Samsung showroom, pick up an OLED 65, 77 or 83 inch and walk away with a free projector and a big discount. Get yourself a 100 inch or 120 inch projector, a Samsung DuraCool fridge and inverter AC, and you get free Wi-Fi breakers, washing machines and more. Also buy the bespoke 4-door fridge and get a free glass panel to match your style. Don't miss our rush to Electroland showrooms and authorized Samsung dealers nationwide. Call 050-315-9739, 050-315-9739. Samsung kickoff promo. It is a game on for savings.
Samsung Kickoff promo is here. The more the city appreciates, the more we reduce the prices. Double price drop on Samsung LED FHD Smart TVs, UHD Smart 4K TVs, QLED Flat 4K, QLED 8K Neo TVs, and OLED TVs. Deal breaker alert. Buy Samsung OLED 65, 77, or 83 inches and get a free projector plus a whooping discount. Samsung DuraCool top and bottom mounted fridge at amazing deals that you don't want to miss. Buy a Samsung 1.5, 2.0 or 2.5 R40 inverter AC and get a free Wi-Fi breaker. Buy bespoke 4-door refrigerator and get a free glass panel. Buy 7 kg, 8 kg and 13 kg Samsung front and top load washing machines for exciting discounts that will make you smile. Rush to Electroland showrooms and authorized dealers across Ghana. Call 050-315-9739. Samsung Kickoff promo. It's a goal for savings.
Welcome back. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. It's 9:03. Send your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What do you make of, the local transfers? Are your favorite teams buying the players you want? What kind of business do you expect your favorite local team to do? If you're a fan of Asante Kotoko, are you happy with the business that Kotoko is doing? What about Gold Stars? Are they making the right moves ahead of the CAF Champions League qualifiers? What about Hearts of Oak? They are yet to also bring in a few players. They've brought in a new technical team, right? They've brought in a new technical team, and we'll see what they'll do. Yesterday, they had their first training session. Well, earlier, Ray, you were making a reference to the Hearts of Oak training session picture.
Yeah, I mean, you have a new coach. Have a proper unveiling for the coach.
But I said the unveiling is next week.
Let the coach, Nathan, after we've seen him in shorts with players doing push-ups and things, and you've announced that he started work already. I mean, Hearts of Oak is a big club, and some of us expect them to do things like a big club would do, But we've seen people unveiling even players in grand style. I mean, Hearts of Oak should do better. It should do better.
Okay, all right. I'm sure as the days and weeks go on, we'll see all kinds of moves. Hearts of Oak were said to be interested in Razak Simpson.
They can't be. They can't be.
Well, nations put the price on the table.
They can't.
I'm told Hearts are yet to respond.
They can't pay. You see, I told you, nations want to sell Simpson to a club abroad. That's their target. So they are possibly looking at the millions of dollars, millions of euros, millions of pounds. That's what that's where they're looking. But if any local club is interested in the signature, They'll give you a figure you can't pay just to put you off. Yeah. And Hearts can't pay. £125,000.
Euros.
Yes. They can't pay. They can't pay.
Now you're mentioning the figure as if you were there when they were writing the letter.
Nathan, they can't pay. Hearts can't pay. Even $70,000 debts, they are struggling to pay. Now they've added 106,000 Ghana cedis. And they're going to buy Simpson alone. The coach will tell you, this money we can buy 10 players. Can buy 10 players.
I see.
So Nathan, I mean, Hearts, if they want to do business, they should target players who are not yet exposed. Because Hearts of Folk want to sell Asari today. Asari, Benjamin Asari. It's going to cost any club lots of money because of the exposure he's had.
Okay.
And if Hearts of Folk want to sell him abroad, they would mention some huge figures. That's the level Simpson is at. He also has that exposure, having played for the national team, scored a goal for the national team, So his value is high. So you have to fork out lots of cash to get that ball. Hearts of Folk won't be interested in doing that.
I see. All right. We'll see what happens eventually. We'll see what happens eventually to Hearts of Oak. The talk is that, and from Mo Shaban and from what I know, they will be in the market. They will try and bag players, but it looks like they will have to take their time. Coach Didi Dramani has asked the deals and things to be put on hold. He wants to properly assess. What he has before identifying the problem areas, and then they can go and bring in players. So that is what we know as of now when it comes to Accra Hearts of Oak.
Yeah, but Nathan, did Mo, did he address the Kotoko recruitment situation?
Well, yeah,
who is doing the recruitment?
No, I didn't ask him who was doing the recruitment. Okay. No, unfortunately.
But these players have been recruited for Karim Zito or the incoming coach.
Well, nobody knows, but it looks like Karim Zito he's still handling the team.
So these are Karim Zito's players.
Maybe we can.
So these are players Karim Zito wants. So Karim Zito will stay on as substantive coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Nathan, this is the problem I have with our local clubs. Some of these things, not information that should be shrouded in secrecy, or as if you are protecting something, or as if you are hiding something. Look, you cannot go into the transfer window recruiting players when you have an interim coach. If the communication is that the interim coach will now become the substantive coach, make that clear, so that we are not even asking these questions of who are they recruiting these players for, who are they not recruiting these players for. You've gone into the transfer market very busy buying players, but we don't know who your substantive coach is. Or Karim Zito will continue as interim coach into next season. Let that communication come out. This is how you run a professional club. You don't leave things to speculations. And this is the problem I have with these two clubs.
Well, we'll see.
And you always ask the question, which people are running these clubs? What people are managing these clubs? Because some of the things they do, strange.
Well, we'll talk about them at another time. At least what is not strange is that in the Club World Cup, very interesting things are happening. Last night marked the end of the journey of Mamelodi Sundowns in the Club World Cup. They drew goalless with Fluminense of Brazil to get them out of the competition, and it wasn't for a lack of trying. It just did not come together for Sundowns.
Lucas Ribeiro with the first attempt of the game.
Fluminense last night in the Club World Cup. Now, the result left Sundowns on 4 points, and it was just 1 point shy of potentially booking their place in the next stage of the competition. Dortmund on 7, Fluminense on 5, Sundowns on 4, Ulsan HD on 0. Let me get to the line. Let me speak with our very good friend, Kamogelo Motekwane. He's with Soccer Laduma in South Africa. Just to get some context to Sundowns, what they've done, what they've achieved, how South Africans feel about them, and what the next step is for the club. Kamogelo, good morning once again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Brother Nathan, everybody at the Sporty FM show, thank you so much for having me. Good morning to you and your listeners. It's always a pleasure.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure speaking with you too, and thank you so much. Your thoughts on last night's encounter? Everybody thought that this was an opportunity for Sundowns to try and make the round of 16. Yes, Fluminense were experienced. Yes, we knew they had quality, but I'm sure there was some hope, whether, it must have been a little or a lot, but just your thoughts on the game. Sundowns 0, Fluminense 0 in the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I think there was a big expectation for the club to ultimately progress, especially considering that they were able to beat Ulsan. They were able to give Borussia Dortmund a run for their money in that 4-3 loss. And especially if you consider the changes that Fluminense made. I think of the back four, only Freitas was the only remaining one. So one would expect that Mamelodi Sundowns, who had been free scoring relatively so as far as African teams are concerned at the tournament, that they'd be able to at least find the back of the net against Fluminense and give themselves a good chance of progressing. But ultimately, that wasn't to be the case. Their first half was quite convincing, and they gave a good account of themselves. Matthews, with the best chance of the game in my opinion. Lunga with a good chance. Reina's also, making some threatening runs in behind. But ultimately, it wasn't to be. I think the second half was very flat. I think the change of Teboho Mokoena had a lot to do with that. He was walking a tightrope in the first half. The voice of sport. So, yeah, I think, all things considered, especially given the first two games, it was quite a flat performance against Fluminense. And, it's a shame that they couldn't even score a goal. But I think the overriding sensation in South Africa is that, Mamelodi Sundowns made, the country proud, their fans proud of the way they performed at the Club World Cup. And, it's a shame that they weren't able to go there. Their group was tough and they gave a good account of themselves, but it wasn't to be. And, yeah, but everybody's still proud of the team, albeit that they weren't able to make it out of the group.
What do you think is, let's say, the biggest lesson from yesterday? We'll talk about the biggest lessons from the competition, but what did Sundowns lacked yesterday, and what do you think they would have learned from yesterday's game?
I think, it's something that's been pertinent with Mamelodi Sundowns over the last few seasons that, perhaps they need a change. I don't know how you go about doing this, but they need a change in big game mentality. Just speaking about this season, or this past season, the 24-25 campaign, a lot of the times in the big games, they didn't really rise to occasion. Okay, the league is a different, kettle of fish. You're competing at a consistent basis. It's not just a one-off game that kind of determines the outcome of whether you win a competition or not. But in the domestic cups, they faltered in the finals, in the semi-finals, in the Champions League, they couldn't get it done. In the finals, and ultimately against Fluminense, when they needed to win in the group stages to go to the next round, they couldn't do it. So it's just, like I said, I don't know how you go about this. Maybe it's a recruitment thing, maybe it's a coaching thing, maybe it's just a cultural thing throughout the club, that they need to change. But yeah, it's clearly evident that in big games that they just lack something. And this is something that I think they need to address wholeheartedly. So, yeah, in my opinion, this is the biggest factor that, not just in yesterday's game, but just throughout the season, that they can take from these performances.
What has the coach, Miguel Cardozo, what has he said, following their exit from the Club World Cup?
I think Miguel Cardoso was very proud of the way his team, showed themselves, because I think at a lot of times before his arrival, they were playing this free-flowing style of football that everybody's seeing at the Club World Cup. But a part of what they were lacking, you could say, is a level of pragmatism, a level of game management that was needed in big encounters. And through his experience in Europe, having coached in La Liga, having coached in Liga, having coached Esperance that were also at the FIFA Club World Cup, and having played against Sundowns while he was at Esperance, he saw something that maybe a level of game management that was missing, and he brought. And I think this is an element that he was proud of. He was proud. After the game, he said he was proud of the way that the team showed themselves. The team was still able to play, their style of play. They didn't really sit back. A lot of in all these games, you could say that Ulsan, Borussia Dortmund, and Fluminense, they didn't necessarily press them. They didn't really press them all that much. If I can say this, they gave Sundowns that level of respect, and I think that this is something that he's proud of, that the team is proud of, and you could see he's proud. Obviously, he's disappointed that he wasn't able to make it out of the
Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
Really proud of the way the team conducted themselves, and I think this is the overriding feeling amongst the players and the club wholeheartedly, that fans should be proud of the way they conducted themselves while they were in the.
I see. So you said something earlier. I just want to just touch on that a bit. You mentioned that there was a lot of pride, right, amongst the Sundowns fans concerning this. They play in this tournament. They come back at least $10 million richer. It takes them to a different level. I guess I wonder how it makes the other clubs feel these days concerning Sundowns. Can you just give us a sense of how other fan bases or other clubs view Sundowns these days? Because they look like the hottest property in South African football now.
Sporty FM.
Yeah, they're unhappy. As a matter of fact, the opposition fans are quite happy to see them, be dumped out of the group stages, and understandably so. You don't want the team that's already as good as Sundowns, as rich as Sundowns, already getting richer, and getting better, potentially better, because there's such a gulf in quality as far as the teams are concerned, and Mamelodi Sundowns is concerned. So they're happy, but obviously when they get so much richer with all the millions of dollars that they've made so far at the Club World Cup, it's not good. I think they're just glad to see the back of Mamelodi Sundowns as far as the Club World Cup is concerned.
Wonderful stuff. Just finally, Kamogelo, what do you think Sundowns should take away from their second trip to the Club World Cup? This is the first time they are playing in the expanded edition. They won one game, drew one game, lost one game. What are the biggest lessons you feel they need to take away to ensure that the next time they come back here, they'll be better and they'll be able to challenge in a stronger way than they've done now?
I think the biggest lesson that, they can take away is that at that level, you can't just be giving silly mistakes away. We saw the mistake that Ronald Williams made against Borussia Dortmund, and that was kind of telling the momentum of the game, especially considering that they had taken the lead. At that level, I think the mistakes that they should take away, or the things that they should learn, is that they need to be clinical with the chances they get, and that this defensive mistakes will be pounced upon. These are the two things that they need to strengthen. These are the two areas of the pitch I think they need to strengthen. Need to get better strikers, and need to kind of reinforce that central defense, in my opinion. Because like I said, when you get to that level, you get punished for mistakes, and when you don't take your chances, these mistakes are compounded even more. So these are the lessons that I think they should take. From just the outside looking in, this is the first time, like you said, at the expanded edition, they had never won a game before. This time they managed to get 4 points, playing relatively well, playing their style of football, playing their brand of football. So there's a lot to be proud of, a lot of positives to take away, but there's much to be taken away in terms of critique and things to learn from, in my opinion, as well.
All right, Kamogelo, thank you so much. When are Sundowns arriving back in South Africa?
I suspect they should be back Friday. tomorrow, at latest Saturday morning.
Okay.
But yeah, the club should communicate that soon enough, and yeah, I think everybody should know. But I expect them to arrive late tomorrow.
All right, Kamogelo, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. We should speak again soon.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, have a wonderful day, and yeah, thanks so much. Always a pleasure.
All right, that was a South African journalist, Kamogelo Motekwane, works with Soccer Laduma, giving us some perspective on Sundown's journey in the Club World Cup. And he says they will have to learn that there are levels, right? And they will have to learn to be better next time. They made mistakes. In the Dortmund game, they made lots of mistakes. I think that they dug a hole that was too big to come out of. They lost the game 4-3. I think if they had even drawn that game, those points would have been enough for them to make the round of 16. But it didn't happen. But yeah, 4 points as compared to not getting anything the last time is an improvement. They won against Ulsan, they drew against Fluminense, and then they lost to Dortmund. I'm sure the next time they are back here, I'm sure with a different squad, maybe they will try and do bigger things. But from an African perspective, none of the teams made it through. But you can say Sundowns had the best run of them all. Yeah, 4 points. Again, when you look at what others are doing, you start to wonder, when is it that Ghanaian clubs will ever get there? Ghanaian clubs are a lot of steps behind, and they will have to do a lot to get to this level. And getting to this level, per the FIFA metric, now requires that you are consistent in the semis and finals of CAF Champions League and Comfort Cup and stuff like that. If you are consistent over a period, in between tournaments, you go. And then we'll see what you can offer the rest of the world. But it just highlights money. We've spoken about money. And yes, if you have money, if you don't have money, you can't bring players like Ribeiro and pay him $55,000 a month.
No, you can't.
You can't bring Cardozo. You can't bring all the scouting people they have, all the data people they have, and pay them the kind of money you are paying them. So money is key. And Sundowns will walk away with at least $10 million. Because they won a game, so winning a game gave them $2 million. So at least $12 million.
Let me just check their payday. Because as at Inter Miami were doing about 21 million, qualifying to the group, qualifying to the round of 16. So Sundowns I think Sundowns would be doing 14, 15 million there about. Let me.
You know, that is good money. Money that elevates their profile and moves them to the next level. So that's the lowdown from the South African side of things in terms of the Club World Cup. But there were other things happening yesterday. Dortmund beat Ulsan by 1-0. Ulsan finishing the competition without a win. And Daniel Swenson, he scored that goal in the first half after 36 minutes. Sundowns and Fluminense drew goalless. That result sent Sundowns out. In the other games that were played, Inter Milan 2, River Plate 0. River Plate got Martinez Quarta sent off for a straight red card there. Mkhitaryan had broken through and he fouled him. And then Alessandro Bastoni made it 2-0 for Inter Milan as they got themselves the goals and the points to proceed. And then it was Uwara 0, Monterrey 4. Monterrey is Sergio Ramos' team. They won that game by 4-0. Deosa Beterame, Jesus Corona, Mexican international, and then Beterame again scoring twice there. And so they went through via a 4-0
the voice of sports
result. So the findings or the standings as we see, Inter Milan 7 points, Monterrey 5, River Plate 4, and Uwara 0. The Japanese team did not win a game in this competition.
So no money for them.
No.
So Sundowns, after drawing yesterday, picked another 1 million. Winning that game against winning their first game against Ulsan.
Yes.
They picked up another 2 million.
2 million. So that's 13
plus the 10 million.
Yeah.
For
12 and a half to 13 million.
So 13 million there about. It's good cash. It's good cash.
$13 million for
sort
them.
out House of Folk, Kotoko, all the top 10 teams in the Premier League, in the Ghana Premier, sort their finances out for the next 2 years.
Are you sure?
Oh, at least they're top 10. Yeah.
Like what? My brother has 5 years.
No, but I'm saying 2 years because they will now have to increase the salary of their players. 1,500 and 2,000 and 3,000.
I see. So you're saying that, for example, if they split $13 million for the top 10 teams in the Ghana Premier League, they'll each get 1.3 million.
Yeah, good cash.
And it can sort out their finances.
That is only if the one-man club CEOs don't go and buy land cruises. No, because that's club of club owners. When they get huge windfall, the next thing is to buy a V8.
It's to help them
buy a big car.
It's to help them go to the villages and scout more talent.
They forget about the game.
Yeah.
And then but I mean, Sundowns, this is good cash for them. But you see, Nathan, there's investment. They've invested to get to this level. So if you don't invest,
you won't get here.
You see, the Ghanaian clubs can admire all the African teams that have gone to play there and even laugh at them that they didn't progress to the next stage. But they've invested well enough to even make the coefficient to get there. What about you? What are you doing in terms of developing your own brand, playing good football, winning games, winning recognizable titles, winning proper titles like CAF Champions League and the likes? Are you there? If you're not there, you should be asking yourself what you are doing in football.
Michael, as I read this back, Michael, your impressions of the African run in the Club World Cup, what do you think worked?
You didn't ask me.
Okay, fine. I'm asking the question. When he's done,
let me say mine.
Okay, I'm
before
listening.
I come here.
Yes.
Let me say mine before I come here. See, Nathan,
what do you want to say?
I wasn't expecting the African teams to go there and win matches. I wasn't expecting them to go there and dominate teams that were going to
Fair point.
When African teams go to the World Cup, do we go there and play teams off the park?
No,
do we go there and dominate the competition?
No.
Until Morocco finished in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw an African team go to the World Cup, dominate to the level of even reaching the semi-finals? Every time, 4 of them would drop out from the group stages. Then one would sneak into the quarterfinals, and that's the end. Okay? So that has been our level. We've not been able to move to the next stage. On the African continent, you can beat all the teams you want. You can win the AFCONs and all. You can win the CAF Champions League and all. But when you move up to where the competition in Europe is a bit stiffer, when you come up against teams in Brazil who are a level above you, it is clear where everybody is on the football pyramid. So until we are ready to go into that European market as African teams and bring in some of the best talent to come and play for the Sundowns and the likes, you will be making an impact when you go to the Club World Cup. So Ribeiro, Brazil, yes, you have a Chilean player in there. You have a few players slated here and there. But that quality, when you come up against the Real Madrid, who have players who are a step higher than yours, Nathan, you can't do magic. And it's as simple as that. So I wasn't expecting too much from the Africans. They've done what they can do at their level. If they want to go a notch higher, then they are probably bringing the Lewandowskis, the Hurricanes, the Sanis and all. That is another level. Are they ready to do that? No. They are comfortable. They'll go back to Club World Cup next season. I think the next team that wins the Champions League will go to Club World Cup, pick the dollars, come back, and still stay at the African level. They are not in a rush to go anywhere.
Okay.
At the level where they are competing, they are beating everybody. They are fine. If they feel the gap is closing, they'll take it a notch higher, bring in more quality players. But when they get out there, it's a different level. They can't match it. That's it.
I see.
Let's not expect too much. Let's not give them pressure.
Michael, do you agree with Raymond that
it is where your investment takes you?
I see.
So when Real Madrid is spending billions of dollars and Muchepe is spending, way below that, the difference is clear.
So okay, fine. Michael, do you agree with Raymond that this is the ceiling for African football, or you think that there's a level they can get to?
No, I think Raymond just hit the nail right on its head. There's actually a point I've been making ever since the competition started, that for the African clubs that are participating, I don't really expect them to compete very well on the sporting grounds. I think the only motivation for them is to come in here, just represent, make some money, go back and invest into their respective clubs. And if you judge by the historical records in terms of performances per confederation, you want to rank the Europeans first because they have produced the most winners and then the most semi-final appearances as regards the Club World Cup. Then South America will come in at second. Then Asia will come in at third. Africa will come in at fourth, CONCACAF at fifth, and then Oceania at fifth as a last ranked confederation. And it has exactly played out, or it has played out in the exact manner in this year's competition. The Europeans are qualifying, the South Americans are qualifying. Then in terms of Asia, they've dropped. Then Africa, they've dropped as well. CONCACAF has 2 representatives in the knockout stage in Inter Miami, and then also Mexico's Monterrey. Clearly, it tells us one thing. Africa will need to narrow the gap between themselves and those above them. And so even before they try thinking about catching up with Europe, they should be targeting South America. And can they do that? They have the budget to do that. I think no. It will take us some time. But the more we invest into our game, the more that we start to get things right and understand the various scientific ways of doing modern football, I think we'll be able to narrow the gap. So these are Lalis, Esperance, Wydad, and then Sundowns. At the world stage, they don't measure up to the standard yet. But at the continental stage, they are the benchmark, and they are the clubs that the other clubs lower the grade will be looking to catch up to. And I think it is just a clear case of monkeys playing by sizes. Sundowns know where they belong, and I don't think they'll be very disappointed in everything that panned out at the Club World Cup. They will actually want to celebrate the success financially and also by merely participating in this competition. And then there are other positives on the side that have also drawn from participating in the competition, the marketing benefits and then the prospects it offers for them. So I think, it was a good experience.
Right. Michael, let's look at Borussia Dortmund and how the top group F playing against Ulsan yesterday, getting the job done and progressing to the next stage of the competition. Do they look like one of those teams that could go all the way? And we can also look at Fluminense again and look at their chances as they've also progressed to the next stage of the competition.
I think for Dortmund, they matured into the competition because their first game against Fluminense was that bad. They did not really perform, and it's understandable. A lot of their key players were out injured. They had to bring on board French players and even introduce some youth players into their squad. And that game against Fluminense was very bad, but I think they improved. Not necessarily in terms of performance, but results. The game against Sundowns, they won 4-3, and then yesterday too, they were able to get a slim margin win. I think they got the results where it mattered most and they've qualified. But as to whether they can go far in this competition, I have serious doubts about it. I don't think they've played their best brand of football yet. They are still trying to find themselves. And I think a knockout elimination is just looming. They will be eliminated eventually. They are not good enough to go that mile or to go to that extreme levels or to go to the farthest of stages in this competition. I don't think they will do that. For Fluminense, of the Brazilian teams, they play a delightful brand of football, but there is one thing about them. They are not clinical. They waste a lot of chances. And they qualified yesterday, though, but their profligacy will be their undoing eventually. They will be eliminated as well. And if you checked, the Brazilian team started the competition very well, but in the last matches that they played, they started losing. It wasn't a good result for Botafogo themselves. They lost. And Fluminense yesterday, they did not win. So I think the Brazilian team started well, but they did not really end well. And I want to see how they fare in the knockout stages. I expect to see more of European dominance in the knockout stages than we witnessed in the group stages.
Right, Michael, let's quickly look at Group E. And Monterrey surprised everybody. No one expected them to progress to the next stage of the competition. They were able to do the job yesterday. They won their final game against Urawa Reds. And Inter Milan also beat River Plate to ensure that they book their spot in the next stage of the competition. Let's look at Monterrey and how good are they as a team, and what's kept them in the competition and brought them all the way to the next stage of the competition. And for Inter Milan, we saw them lose in the finals of the Champions League. Everybody would have thought, well, losing your coach, the players will not be in a good place. But they have also proven their worth in the competition so far. What do you make of the chances of these two teams?
Well, I think for Monterrey, it only justifies why a Mexican club, Club Tigres de la Universidad de Nuevo, placed second in the competition some time past. I think that was somewhere in, I'll have to find the exact date, but they've placed second before. Mexican clubs mostly do very well at the Club World Cup. And for Monterrey, precisely, I think it's about their sheer grit. They have experienced players in their folds who have been there, done that, and they know what it takes to deliver at this stage. If you run through their squad, Sergio Ramos, enough experience playing in the Champions League for Real Madrid, winning the competition. Definitely, he will be an impact in the dressing room. He will affect the players positively, get into their minds and prepare them for games like this. But it's not just them. Oliver Torres has been playing for Sevilla in the Europa League precisely when they were winning it. So he understands what it takes to play at this stage. Then Jesus Corona plays for the Mexican national team. He's played at the FIFA Club World Cup. So I think amongst them, they have quite some experienced players in their fold who are able to affect the team positively in the dressing room and also on the pitch. And I think he played a crucial role. Check their first two games. They forced a crucial draw against Inter Milan. And then the second game against River Plate, who had beaten Urawa, they also forced an important draw. And then against the team, the group's weakest team, against Riley, they won just to ensure qualification. So I think it is their sheer grit that is taking them there. But would that be enough to see them travel further beyond the round of 16 stage? I think that is where the problem lies. And they will need more than that. For Inter Milan, they are still coming to terms with how Christian Kivu expects them to play. And yesterday, they actually set up in a typical Simone Inzaghi manner, and it allowed them to enjoy their game. River Plate gave them a tough fight, but it was the quality possessed by this Inter Milan team. Although there were some players who were out injured, but I still think they had enough quality to overcome River Plate. And it justifies where Argentina football is now. They are not really enjoying themselves. If you check the last winners of the Copa Libertadores, which is the Champions League for the South American clubs, they have not really been that consistent in terms of the final two appearances. It has been the Brazilian clubs who are dominating, and that has clearly told at the Club World Cup. In terms of recent performances, the Argentine clubs have dipped in performance. Boca Juniors, River Plate at a point in time, they were playing the Copa Libertadores finals together. But now they are struggling to even make the semifinals. And the Brazilian clubs are doing that and doing it well. So I'm not surprised that at the end of the first round, the Argentine clubs have been eliminated. It only tells of their recent struggles and where they are currently. And then kudos to the Brazilian club. But for River Plate, there was no way they were going to see the better side of Inter Milan. There was no way they were going to have one over them. Inter, per their quality and their standard, were going to overcome them. Let's not forget, this is the team that just played the Champions League final. So we have to give it to Inter.
Right, and Inter Milan, after winning last night and topping the group, would play against Fluminense in the round of 16, and that game will be happening at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Borussia Dortmund will take on Monterrey, and that game will be happening at the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta. So those are the games to look forward to in the round of 16 concerning these two teams. But there's a little matter of Group G and Group H, because Juventus and Manchester City are currently top of Group H. Juventus top in the group. They have 6 points. Man City as well have 6 points. And so the decider will be played tonight. And Real Madrid in Group H would also be hoping to qualify to the next stage of the competition. They have games coming up. Michael, let's quickly look at the games coming up tonight. And let's look at that Juventus-Man City game. It's clearly for who wins the group, who tops the group. Man City 6, Juventus on 6. Without a line, really, they'll be playing for maybe $1 million or $2 million in that particular game. But let's look at that Juventus-Man City game. What should we expect, and who could possibly win this game to top the group? Both teams have scored lots of goals in the competition so far. What should we expect in that game? Hello, Michael. I'm losing you a bit. If you can hear
Can
me.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
So I said that they got the lucky of a draw by virtue of being placed in a group that had very weaker opponents relatively, and it's helped them. That is how come if you look through the top performers for European clubs in this competition, after the first round of 2 games, they were there. Juventus 100% record, Man City perfect record. They've not even considered a goal. So it only tells, because if you are playing 2 games against our line and with that, definitely you are expected to win. So the lack of the draw helped them. Playing against each other, it will be for who gets to win the top spot. But I think for Man City, it offers them the luxury of trying a lot of new players, and it would help their cause. And for Juventus, they will likely stick with the old guns because they don't have too much of a deep squad, and then see how far things go. But don't forget, there might also be a score to settle for Pep Guardiola. Juventus beat them in the Champions League, and maybe revenge will be on their minds. But whichever selection that Pep Guardiola makes, trust that there will be quality in there, because City have a well-built squad now. They can select 2 sets of teams and they will give you quality, and it tells you how much investment has gone into the team. So the City that we saw fluff their opportunities and then disappoint in the Champions League look like a different Manchester City side now, and I think they are favorites against Juventus, irrespective of who Pep Guardiola gets to select in the first 11. They have quality enough to beat Juve. Juve are good, but I don't think they are brilliant enough yet. And Igor Tudor is trying to work out how to get this team to play in a certain shape with a certain identity. They are not there yet, and I think there are vulnerabilities that Manchester City can exploit and then hurt them.
Right, Michael, let's look at Group H, and our final game would be Real Madrid versus Salzburg. Both teams are on 4 points, and a win for Madrid sends them to the next stage of the competition. A win for Salzburg as well will take them through. Al Hilal and Pachuca, really, for Al Hilal, if they win this game, they'll be hoping that results in the other game between Madrid and Salzburg would favor them so they could progress to the next stage of the competition. What should we expect in Group H and in the games we are looking forward to tonight?
I think Madrid will want to go all out and secure maybe a point against Salzburg, and that will make the group quite tricky because Hilal and then Pachuca, I think that if Hilal is winning, then it will make it a bit tricky. But I think a draw will suffice for Real Madrid. If they get that draw, eventually they will qualify because it will give them 5 points. And then Hilal against Pachuca will be a different ball game altogether as we see who gets to. It's a tricky group, but in my opinion, Real Madrid are warming up into the competition. They did not start well. Their first game against Hilal was very disappointing, but I think they did the job against Pachuca, even with a man down. They had their key players stepping up and then showing leadership. For instance, Vinny Jr. did not get on the score sheet, but I think for his output, he was very, very positive in everything that he did. Jude Bellingham getting on the score sheet. Luka Modric, when we saw he came on, he improved the team in terms of how they control the game. And then in defense, when Tchouaméni had to slot in and play with Dean Huysen, I think they looked solid rather than the Raúl Asensio-Dean Huysen combo that Xabi Alonso had played in the earlier games. And then for Thibaut Courtois, I think that he is the best player of this Madrid team currently. There is no player in that Madrid team that is more impactful than Courtois, and it will be very crucial if they will go further in this competition. I think that he will also likely get a stint, or maybe Alonso want to try learning and see how far things go. Salzburg have very young, talented players, including our own Emmanuel Ejekun, but I think they don't have enough experience and quality to usurp a team like Real Madrid. So at the end of the day, it is going to be a win or draw for Real Madrid. And then Pachuca, Al Hilal. Pachuca have some decent players. Al Hilal have some great talent. I think it will be a matter of who gets the best level of coaching. And I want to believe that Simone Inzaghi can coach his team to get a result against Pachuca. Pachuca are good, but I don't think they are well-coached units. And that is how come Madrid beat them even with a man down. So Al Hilal might fancy their chances, and we could be in for a surprise. If Madrid beats Salzburg and Al Hilal are beating Pachuca, they could qualify and make themselves proud. And then it will make a case for Asia, because all the Asian competitors have been eliminated by them. And if they do qualify, it will be victory something significant for the continent. So I am tipping a surprise in that group. Madrid to qualify, yes, but maybe Al Hilal to usurp Salzburg after beating Pachuca to be the second team that will qualify from that group.
Right, Michael, let me say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show this morning. It's been a pleasure, as always, having you join us on the Sporty Breakfast. Have a good day, and hopefully we'll catch up tomorrow to run the rule over everything that happens in the Club World Cup tonight and at dawn tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Raymond, and let's meet tomorrow.
Great. And that was Michael Asari-Boyedu joining us from Sporty 91.3 FM in Kumasi. And our exclusive coverage of the Club World Cup is brought to you by Electroland Ghana Limited. And the Samsung kickoff promo is on, and it's a goal for savings. As the CD rises, Samsung prices drop. So get double price cuts on LED smart TVs, 4K UHD, and stunning QLEDs, and even OLEDs as well. And we're asking you to grab a Samsung OLED 65, 77 or 83 inches TV and walk away with a snug 100. Walk away with a free projector and a big discount. Yes, if you buy a TV, a Samsung OLED TV 65, 77, 83, you walk away with a free projector and a big discount. Samsung are they're also giving away snug 100 and 120 projectors, Samsung Duracool fridges, inverter ACs with free Wi-Fi breakers, washing machines, and more, all at crazy good prices. So you can also buy your bespoke 4-door fridge and get free glass panels to match your style. Don't miss out. Rush to Electroland showrooms and authorized Samsung dealers nationwide. You can give them a call on 050-315-9739. 050-315-9739. Samsung kickoff promo. It's game on. It's game on for savings.
Samsung Kickoff promo is here. The more the city appreciates, the more we reduce the prices. Double price drop on Samsung LED FHD Smart TVs, UHD Smart 4K TVs, QLED Flat 4K, QLED 8K Neo TVs, and OLED TVs. Deal breaker alert! Buy Samsung OLED 65, 77, or 83 inches and get a free projector plus a whooping discount. Samsung Duracool top and bottom mounted fridge at amazing deals that you don't want to miss. Buy a Samsung 1.5, 2.0 or 2.5 R40 inverter AC and get a free Wi-Fi breaker. Buy bespoke 4-door refrigerator and get a free glass panel. Buy 7 kg, 8 kg and 13 kg Samsung front and top load washing machines for exciting discounts that will make you smile. Rush to Electroland showrooms and authorized dealers across Ghana. Call 050-315-9739. Samsung Kickoff promo. It's a goal for savings.
Right, and you're still live on Sporty Breakfast on Sporty 106.1 in Accra. And as always, this is Ghana's #1 sports morning show, the Sporty Breakfast. And the Club World Cup games tonight to look forward to. We can look forward to the game between Juventus and Man City and Wydad AC versus Al Ain. All these games would be at 7 p.m. tonight. There's a watch party, also there's a watch along with us here on European nights at 7 p.m. So join Eustace, Kosi Fiaka, and the rest of the team right here on Sporty FM. And also, I will bring you updates on that game between RB Salzburg and Real Madrid. That game would be at 1 a.m. And also, Al Hilal Pachuca will be playing at 1 a.m. These are the final round of matches in the group stages of the FIFA World Cup. FIFA Club World Cup, sorry. There's still a lot to look forward to. Tomorrow, there's a big movie premiere, F1, the movie. There's a premiere happening at the Silverbird Cinemas tomorrow. And we are giving away tickets on the show this morning. You can give me a call and answer a question, and then you are there tomorrow with us at the Silverbird Cinemas for the premiere of F1, the movie. It's a big movie, interesting cast out there, lots of stars in there. There's a lot of drama. I mean, if you love motorsport, you're definitely going to love this one. If you don't love motorsport and you just love your movies and you love some of your great actors, you're definitely going to love this one as well. So give us a call, 0542 571061, 0542 571061. Just give me one answer to the question I'm going to ask, then you can join us tomorrow at the Silverbird Cinemas for this great movie. I think I have a caller on the line. Good morning, your name and where are you calling us from?
Good morning, my name is Robert. I'm calling from Choco.
Oh, Robert, do you want to join me at Silverbird Cinemas tomorrow?
Yes, please.
Okay, so just give me one. There are 20 Formula 1 drivers. Name one. Just give me one name.
Hamilton.
Hamilton?
Hello.
Yes, the answer. So just give me the answer.
This Spanish guy. Is it Hamilton?
Okay, so my producers will get back to you. Okay, my producers will get back to you, and you know if you want the ticket or not. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. So just give me a call. Just give me a call, and then answer a simple question, and then you can join us at the Silverbird Cinemas tomorrow. If you win, my producers will give you a call back, and then tell you how to pick up your ticket and join us at the Silverbird tomorrow. It's the movie F1, the movie. Very interesting movie. Give us a call 0542 571061 0542 571061. I'm giving away 5 tickets for the movie tomorrow. It's a big premiere. We're going to have a checkered carpet. We're going to have lots of drinks from Pit Stop as well. Pit Stop are going to be there. They're going to bring their bar right to us at Silverbird Cinemas. And so promises to be an exciting one. Let me get back onto the phone lines. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, I'm Eric, calling from Ashaima.
Yes, Eric. I'm sure you want to join us at Silverbird tomorrow.
Yeah, for real.
Yes. Okay. So there are 20 drivers on the grid. Can you name one?
Oscar Piastri from Australia.
Right. You got it right. So my producers will get in touch with you and then let you know how you can get the ticket. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Have a good day. Well, it's easy. Just give me a call. You answer a very simple question and then the ticket is right there for the ticket. So give us a call 0542 571061. It's a big movie and the worldwide premiere starts from tomorrow. So you can join us at the Silverbird Cinemas and then, catch a glimpse of this very wonderful movie put together by one of the best directors in the world. And of course, when it comes to movies, you know where to go for the best. And so Silverbird tomorrow, you can join us and then watch the premiere with us. 0542 571061 0542 571061. I have to give away 5 tickets. And so I'm waiting for your calls. Just give me a call and then I'll put you through. Answer one question, one very simple question. It's not complicated. One very simple F1 question. And then tomorrow you can join us at the Silverbird Cinemas. It's the movie F1, the movie starring. Okay, well, I'm going to ask a question on who's going to be the star actor in there. So I don't want to give too much away, but just give us a call 0542 571061 0542 571061. Give me a call, answer a simple question, and then you can join us at the Silverbird Cinemas tomorrow. It's going to be a big night. There's going to be lovely cocktails on the night, lovely food, lovely drinks. Of course, the movies would always go with popcorns and all. Yes, just win a ticket for yourself and then come with whoever you want to come with and then come and watch the movie. So the phone lines are open 0542 571061 0542 571061. Later on in the show, later on in the day, we'll be giving tickets away on the drive as well. So you should get ready with your answers. But let me get onto the phone lines again. I have a caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Bozu.
Yes, sir.
Dina from Bozu.
Right. You want to join us at the movies tomorrow, right?
Definitely.
Okay, good. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question. So there are 20 drivers. One name has been mentioned already. Give me another name. The drivers on the Formula 1 grid.
Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen, that's correct. Max Verstappen is correct. So we'll see you at the movies tomorrow. My producer will get in touch with you and let you know how you can get your tickets, okay?
Sharp.
Right, have a good day. Yeah, so, it's easy. It's easy as to get it. Very easy questions, very simple questions. If I ask Flyboy to give me 20 drivers, can you give me all the 20? So give me a call, 0542 571061. Let me give out my last ticket before Nathan. I think Nathan will give out 2 tickets tomorrow. So let me give out my last ticket. 0542-571061. 0542-571061. Give me a call and let's get talking. Okay, I have a caller on the line. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning. I'm Benjamin.
Yeah, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Good to have you on the show. Well, there are 10 teams when it comes to Formula One. There are 10 teams on the grid, as in the teams that manage the cars. Can you mention one team?
Mercedes.
Right. You got it right. So my producer will get in touch with you, and then you know how you can get your ticket and join us at the movie premiere tomorrow at the Silverbird Cinemas. Right. So very easy questions, not too many, not too complicated. I mean, you know, Mercedes, McLaren, AlphaTauri. Hey, did I say AlphaTauri? Yeah, there's Mercedes, there's McLaren, there's Ferrari, there's Kick Sauber, there's the Racing Bulls. I mean, all of them, they are in there. There's Team Alpine, there's Haas, there's Williams. Yeah, tomorrow Nathan will continue. I've given you all the apostle. Tomorrow Nathan will give out 2 tickets, and then you can join us at the Silverbird. But the movie premiere is tomorrow at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. at the Silverbird Cinemas. It's a movie you wouldn't want to miss. So please join us at the Silverbird Cinemas tomorrow. Come to the cinema, get your ticket, grab your popcorn, and then have a seat, and let's have fun. This is where we draw the curtain down on today's edition of Sporty Breakfast. My name is Raymond Yamador. Nathan Kwao started the show, and I finished it off. A big thank you to the entire production team. Flyboy, Emmanuel Ayamga, Immortal, Ejakwe Champion, Fidelis, Nana Kwame. All of them have given us great support on the show this morning. To our team lead, Gary L. Smith. He's been behind the scenes providing all the necessary support we need. Big thank you to you, Gary. Up next is Inside French Football. Nathan Kwao will bring you Inside French Football. He has an exclusive interview with the Black Stars player. Well, I wouldn't want to drop the name, but he's going to drop that in the next few minutes. There's news at 12, and then at 12:30, the Sporty Plug with Nana Kwame Labi and the team. At 4 p.m., the Sporty Drive with Fifi Banton. At 7 p.m., Kosi Fiaka and the team will bring you European nights, and we are focusing on the Club World Cup. Big game coming up, Manchester City versus Juventus. There's a big watch-along in studio. Yes, keep listening to Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 in Kumasi. And keep enjoying our programming, because we are indeed the voice of sport. Thank you for joining us. Up next is Nathan Kwao with Inside French Football.